Hello and welcome to the SDG Fairbreak Invitational T20 tournament. It's match number 4 and it's the Barmy Army versus the Falcons. We're coming to you live from the Dubai International Cricket Stadium in all its glory. My name is Lesego Fowe and I am joined in studio with Mark Farmer. Mark, welcome to the humble abode of my studio. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see this match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Let's talk about the Falcons as well as Barmy Army. What are you expecting to see? I mean, these teams are coming with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, well, they're two great lineups. They're both coming off wins, very different games, different scores. I spoke to Heather Knight and Susie Bates, and they spoke a lot before the first match about the challenge with these lineups with players coming from all over the world. They've never seen them, play with them before, some language barriers. So I expect those first match nerves are out of the way. They understand their teams. Yeah. I'm really excited to see how they match up their combinations and get out in the middle.
Great. And do you think that this is a Barmy Army batting versus the bowling of the Falcons, or could it be vice versa?
Yeah, we saw quite a low-scoring game last night, but the Barmy Army batting is strong. I mean, Deandra Dotton, we know what she's capable of. We saw some great signs from Wolfart, Shemaine Campbell. So expect to see them come out and be explosive. But the Falcons, they've taken the highest score of the tournament with 178 for 2. Susie Bates made the most of her chances with a couple of drops, but looked in great touch. Hayley Matthews looking great, but Shimani Atipatu, wow. That was exceptional. First match to see a century. No,
definitely. And we'll obviously have to wait and see if whether we'll be seeing any centuries today. But what are your thoughts on that top order of the Falcons specifically? Yes, you spoke about Atapathu, but are you expecting to see any brilliance from any other batters as well?
I think they're all capable of brilliance. I mean, they're only 2 down, so I think it's going to be really interesting. A lot of their batting order hasn't been tested yet. They've not been out in the middle. The conditions seem to be changing out there, especially I think they had the best of the conditions from what we've seen over the last 2 games with the wickets slowing up a little bit. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, well, we'll come back with those conditions. I think it's great for us to take a moment to go to the pitch conditions, and we've got Jeff Lawson, who's on standby.
Well, welcome here to day 3 at the Dubai International Stadium. 3rd day in, but we've had 3 matches already. Tonight we've got match 4 and match 5. Let's have a look what Toby Lumsden's got for us here on day 3. Plenty of green grass here. He's put a bit more moisture in it, rolled it out, but of course we've got a classic Dubai afternoon here and the moisture dries out of it pretty quickly. Let's just check how much bounce is in this pitch. It sounds good to me. There's plenty of bounce, and what we've seen so far on this wicket is the good batters can use that bounce to their advantage and play square of the wicket. Hopefully a bit more in for the bowlers tonight, but a pretty good pitch once again. Well done, Toby Lumsden.
And now that we've had a look at the pitch conditions, let's go straight to the coin toss with Mel Farrell.
Well, time for the coin toss for match 4 of the Fairbreak Invitational, and changer in the captain here. Susie Bates isn't so well, so Danny Wyatt has stepped up to the plate for the coin toss for the Falcons. And we've also got, of course, Barmy Army captain Heather Knight. We've got Hayley Lowe here from Cricket Hong Kong, who is going to toss the coin, and of course Steve Barnard, the match referee. So, Hayley, take it away.
Tails, please.
Tails is a call.
Oh.
Almost interference.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
We're going to field first, please.
We're going to have a field first. Again, the popular choice so far. So Danny's stepping up as captain. How difficult is that for you coming in at this stage? Why have you decided to have a field as well?
Well, Susie Bates is she's got a bit of a sniffle back in the hotel, so yeah, big shoes to fill because Susie's obviously great captain. But Joe asked me earlier if I'd like to do it, and I said yes straight away. And really looking forward to getting out there with the girls.
Yeah, I had obviously a great win in the first game. Tamari Atapatu went absolutely crazy. You've made a few changes. expecting the pitch to be quite different to what it was in your game?
Yeah, it looked a lot different yesterday. Really surprised with how slow it looked actually. But yeah, we just want to get out there as a team, and our team love chasing. So let's hope today goes as well as the other day.
Now, it has proved difficult as it slows up. So good luck with that. Good luck with the captaincy today.
Thank you very much.
And Heather, how'd you sleep? Did you get much sleep after finishing late last night?
Yeah, well, a bit of dinner first, which was quite nice. But yeah, obviously a really late finish. But the girls have had a little bit of rest, a little bit of a chilled morning, and we're ready to go again today.
Everyone has pulled up okay?
Yeah, everyone's fine. We made 2 changes, so Ruchi and Ruby come in for Laura and Roberta.
Okay, so Brazilians out, Europeans in, basically, as though gets go. Now, what do you think about this pitch? You played on it most recently.
Yeah, it was a lot slower yesterday than we expected after that first game, and I think it'll play quite similar, maybe even a bit slower and a bit lower. So yeah, I don't mind batting first too much.
I probably won't mind bowling on it either if there's a little bit of spin there.
Yeah, there was actually. I thought Romana made the most of it in particular for our team, and yeah, I expected to turn a little bit again today and be quite hard to score.
Okay, well, good luck today.
Great, thank you.
So there you go. The Falcons have won the toss and they're going to have a bowl.
Having a quick look at how the Barmy Army team is looking like. Deandra Doughton on the top with Kavisha Kavari, Laura Wolfard, Heather Knight, Shemaine Campbell there, of course, being a wicket keeper for the team. Rubina Chetri is coming in. And of course, we're seeing the inclusion of Venkatesh given an opportunity to play her first game. And of course, we've seen the brilliance of Shimwe. Hopefully, she'll be able to be good with the ball as well in today's game. And we're also seeing Norris, Sana, and Ahmed. And that's how the batting order is looking like for Team Barmy Army. And as I hand it over to Mark to take us through how the Falcons are looking.
Yeah, looking to the Falcons, it says Susie Bates, but I believe she's missing out. Danny Wyatt coming in as captain, a huge amount of experience, so I don't think they're losing out there. Brittany Cooper coming into the side now. She'll bring a huge amount of energy and positivity to the side. Marina Lamplow and Mariko Hill, the 2 girls from Hong Kong in the side too. So expect to see some great batting again in this lineup. They might have lost Bates, but Wyatt's there. Some phenomenal talent.
You reckon that they're going to miss out on Bates as a captain?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, Danny Wyatt's got a huge amount of experience, so I think one of the challenges is going to be that Susie would have established in that first game a communication style, the way that she wanted to set up the team, and she'd spoken about the challenges of bringing all these players together, the language barriers, and now it's going to be over to Danny, who didn't play in that first game, to take control.
And you're hoping to see that the Barmy Army will be able to fire. I mean, when we look at yesterday's game, the batting wasn't up to scratch, but are you hoping to see it better today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Heather spoke about the wicket. It's slowing up. It's beginning to take a bit of turn, so it's going to be tough. So if anything, I think the Barmy Army, with that experience last night in these slightly slower conditions, might play into their favour, because the Falcons had the best of the conditions, a wicket that was absolute belter on that first night. And we saw that. It was an absolute runs fest.
Yeah, and let's hope that it might be a run fest for today's game, but you have to look out for that one. We'll see you in a bit.
Match 4 of the SDG Fairbreak Invitational between the Barmy Army and the Falcons, two teams who are already on the board in this tournament, taking all 4 points from their opening fixtures here live at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. And there are plenty of changes for both teams. The Barmy Army, they bring in Chetri from Nepal and Venkatesh from Hong Kong, and at the expense of the two Brazilians, Roberto Moretti and Lara Cardoso, who make way. As for the Falcons, they bring into the side the Swedish spinner Gunjan Shukla, and crucially they have Danny White back in the team as well, albeit at the expense of Susie Bates, the captain, who's ill. Barmy Army have been sent in at the toss. Danny White into the team, taking the armband from Susie Bates, who is unwell, as is Marizan Kapp, two of their international superstars. Andrew Dotton opening the batting for the Barmy Army. Missed out last night, out inside the power play. But a player of vast experience for the West Indies, world champion in 2016 in this format of the game. She's opening with Kavisha Kumari, who's only played the game for a couple of years but looks quite the natural. Taking the new ball for the Falcons, Jahanara Alam, that distinctive headband and makeup setup that's been such a part of her game over the years, watching her opening the bowling for Bangladesh over a long stretch of time. Simon Torfel calls play. The 4th game, the Fairbreak Invitational. Adam Collins with you on the call. I have Georgie Heath with me. So unfortunate for Falcons that they haven't had Marizan Kapp available in either game, and now Susie Bates falling ill as well.
Yeah, it is unfortunate for them. You can tell, you know, someone like Marizan Kapp, she's such a professional, but she'll be there. She'll still be around and about, getting involved in everything, and she'll be giving her insight. So the bowlers have still got something to feed off there. But yeah, unfortunate that she's not playing, but nice to see Danny Wyatt in there and taking the captaincy.
She was really enjoying herself at the toss, Danny White. Doesn't get to captain too many teams. She's played international cricket and professional cricket for a long stretch of time. Much established in that England team now, one of the most dynamic T20 players in the world. She was ill, missing the first game of this competition, so great to have her back. Across the line, plays it well. Picked it up from the middle stump. First runs of the game. A Dotton boundary with authority. Going all the way back to the start of her career. Struck a 38-ball century T20 cricket for the West Indies.
Good recovery there from Jahanara Alan, consummate professional. And yeah, so missing out, we're on, captain Susie Bates for the Falcons there. So yeah, Danny Wyatt taking the captaincy. And like we were saying, not done a lot of captaining, but you know, we've got 2 English captains taking each other on here for 2 teams that have won their opening game so far. So
yeah, and there will be plenty of changes, and I'll explain why in this competition. There's a minimum requirement of 2 games per player in the squads of 15. So you won't see a group of 11 playing the whole way through. So there are 2 changes for the Barmy Army and 3 for the Falcons, and that'll be fairly common across the 13 days of this competition.
I guess something that's very important as well, because obviously we saw the Barmy Army playing last night and it was very late when they finished, so you've got to be able to manage your players and manage their welfare there as well. So it's a good rule to have in there, I think.
Yeah, and in the spirit of Fairbreak as well, as that they brought players into this comp from around the world, 90 players here for the fortnight. They all want to have an opportunity to get out there and enjoy some time in this shop window. End of the first over, just a boundary coming from it, the Barmy Army, 4 without loss. For the Barmy Army, I mentioned off the top, they've left out their 2 Brazilians, Roberta Moretti, Laura Cardoso. Ravina Chetri from Nepal, Ruchi Venkatesh into the team. The all-rounder, we'll see her off spin later. Such a strong top 4. Laura Wolver and Heather Knight were instrumental in Barmy Army's victory last night. Spirit, they added 65 in a low-scoring game for the 3rd wicket. Both striking at well over 100. Andrew Gurung taking the new ball from the Emirates Road end. The left armour from Bhutan. Swing it back towards the right-hander here. Nice start. She was impressive the other night, Gurung. Spent her time preparing for Fairbreak in Thailand. She was desperate to get over here, so she got herself a gig training with the Thai team.
Yeah, and some of her preparation videos, she's been running up and down stairs. She's been training in lofts. She's put in the hours to be here at Fairbreak.
Nice.
Got those iconic blue boots on as well. You can't miss her. You can't miss Angie Gurung. You can hear her chuckling around the hotel as well. She's just loving being part of Fairbreak, as we all are.
Experienced international umpire Akbar Ali. Simon Torfel. Not signalled wide, got away with one there. Umpire from the UAE. Overseen 22 men's one-day internationals, 36 T20s and 12 women's T20Is as well. As for Simon Torfel, he's done it all as far as umpiring is concerned. Kavisha changing approach there, shuffling down the track but unable to beat cover. Gurung straight on it, 4 dots to begin her spell. A great education for the bowlers, especially who bowl from Simon Torfel's end. It's that back and forth between bowler and umpire, an important relationship, and yeah, Simon Torfel's seen it all. Yes, inside edge onto pad. Gurung enthusiastic, style points. Nowhere near being given out.
She's still all smiles. It's been a great first over from her here so far. If we just see this delivery there.
I wonder how many people watched the Fairbreak opener in Bhutan. It's on television there. A lot of those watching. Ball to finish. He completes a maiden. Outstanding from Gurung to start. 2 overs gone, Barmy Army 4 for none. Check out the smile on her face. Doing the job immediately with her left arm seam. Grown up playing against the boys and against the men. The Bhutan national team. having an opportunity like this on the big stage against some of the best players in the world, what Fairbreak's all about. They seam from both ends for a couple of overs before they revert to spin. There'll be a lot of spin today, Georgie. That track, as Jeff Lawson pointed out in his review earlier, did get slower yesterday with the third day on the surface, all the way over to the right-hand side of screen there. Square here at Dubai Sports City. Back at long on, easy single for Dotton.
Yeah, the spinners were in the game yesterday. We saw it in that Barmy Army match. You know, Heather Knight took a wicket. She always has that golden arm a bit. Heather Knight, she already batted well, and it just sort of kept the Barmy Army on top in the middle overs there. And then we obviously saw some fantastic bowling from Nepalese bowlers, and so it's very different to the first day, which was a bit of bish bash bosh. It was all a batter's day, and yesterday was very much a bowler's day.
So changing field with Kavisha on strike, mid on inside the circle. Fielders back at deep third and deep backwards square, and a catching cover as well. So 7 dot balls for Kavisha.
Yeah, so it was Sita Rana yesterday, was that Nepalese bowler with the spin bowling going on. It was a great celebration. It was all a day of celebrations, actually. We saw some great tornadoes. We saw the under the chin celebration there. I've seen what the Falcons like to do when they celebrate. Danny Wyatt is keen to get some of those going.
Okay, watch this space. Quick single off the mark. Ooh, I tell you what. Needed to put the dive in there, didn't. Had it been a direct hit, she was in strife. Brittany Cooper into the team today. Motoring in from mid-wicket. Watching it back. Bit of indecision about halfway down the track, and yep, she was gone. Based on the way they were running, felt as though it was straightforward, but far from it in the end. Lucky to survive. Gave that plenty. Skipper White in the covers, no run there.
Yeah, we saw that athleticism there from Cooper. She's a very fit player. You see her running with her nieces and nephews, but she missed out on the World Cup earlier on this year. She had a collapsed lung and there was fluid in her lungs, so it's great to see her back out, and this is her getting back onto that top level cricket. So it's nice to have her back out there and in good health.
Bit of premeditation there, nothing wrong with that inside the power play. Long on back, she was going to try and lift it over the covers, but not to be.
I think in England that's what we call swinging like a rusty gate. It was, she'd premeditated that one, and it was nothing but air really from the world boss.
Don't want to do that too often on a hot day. The hottest day of the tournament so far. 36 degrees when I checked in a couple of hours ago. Ooh, is it going to be close? Probably thrown to the wrong end. Kamari, who would have been in strife towards the wicket keeper's end. Barmy Army 7 without loss after 3 tight overs. here. It was vicious call.
Yeah, the throw was a bit off there, wasn't it? I mean, she looked to recover quickly. She picked it up and went for the throw, but perhaps just over-enthusiastic in trying to recover from that misfield. Still all smiles out there, though.
So Gurung to continue. Bhutanese seamer. But Dotton, they'll have the long on and the deep mid wicket. I love the action. 2 arms thrust in the air as she reaches the delivery stride. Nice straight lines. Good shout. Turned down, inside edge.
She's making things happen, isn't she? Maybe it's that extra spring in those blue shoes. Yeah, you can see that massive inside edge there. Deandra Dottin, not phased.
Again, right on that Midland leg stump line and getting that natural movement. If you're a left arm over the wicket bowler and you can bring it back towards the right-hander, the stumps are always in play. Eight dots to start for Gurung. Make that 9. 23 years of age. Super committed to her cricket. Had first. Just pitched outside the line of the leg stump. Got a handful of international games, 10 wickets for Bhutan. Her first sloppy delivery and put away accordingly. Dotton into double figures. And the run of dot balls concludes with a half tracker.
I mean, she gave that what it deserved, really, Deandra Dottin. You just can't bowl those to someone as experienced as her and with as much confidence. You know, she's gonna, if it's there to whack, she's gonna whack it. She's gonna Terry's chocolate orange it. Don't tap it, whack it. Good recovery from her there, you know, she wasn't phased by that. She's taking on one of the big hitters in the world game here, Gurung. Won't have faced each other before, so yeah, she's recovered from that bit of a loosener before to plug that one for another dot. It's going along nicely.
Yeah, one of the biggest hitters the women's game's ever seen, actually, and often their exploits early in the career were deadline making around the globe. 38 ball 100, 22 ball 50 against Australia. Yorker to finish. 2 good overs from Gurung. 4 gone. Barmy Army just 11 for none. But 2 overs left in the power play. Even if the Barmy Army got 10 and over from here, it'll still be seen as a missed opportunity. Especially when they've got Woolver and Knight coming in next, who have both opened routinely at international level.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before the tournament, we spoke so much. There was a lot of hype about the Barmy Army batting lineup, but we just haven't seen it fire like we expected, perhaps. But when you've got the likes of Woolver and Knight coming in, you don't need to be too worried at this stage.
So 2 overs left in the power play. We're going to have our first bowling change. Shamari Atapatu, the Sri Lankan off spinner. Yep, ball in her hand from our Dubai Sports City end. 2 outside the circle. Kavisha will be a deep backward square. Let's call it deep mid wicket, straightish deep mid wicket. Bowled 3 overs against the Warriors, none for 25. Bit of turn there, and spin will be a big part of this doubleheader. The third and final day we're playing on this pitch. So as we make our way into the evening session, we'll turn. Saw signs of that yesterday. Surely Dotton tries to take on ANTI-PIRACY here. Fires it through. Bipad, so missed opportunity.
Yeah, well, if Dotton was watching ANTI-PIRACY's bat the other night, she might have picked up a few tips on that one. She was having an absolute field day out there. She was player of the match in our first Fairbreak Invitational game. Unbeaten century, ANTI-PIRACY.
Good again, hard to attack that. Falcons having an outstanding power play. Lights it up, but picks out mid-off.
Taking her time here with this over. It's gone on a while here, ANTI-PIRACY. Normally the spinners are pretty quick through them.
Ooh, close. Turned down by umpire Torfel. Past the inside edge, not far away though. 4 dots on the trot. Watching it back here. Just in line with leg stump. Just been kissing the side of it. Down leg to finish. Will it be signalled to wide? It will. Take an extra run too. On a couple. To the danger end comes Dotton, but she's quick between the wickets. So 3 runs added to the score. Here's some of that 100 from the opening game of the competition. Chasing 178, and they got there 8 balls early because ANTI-PIRACY was in world-class form. 5 sixes in our 107 not out. Dotton to finish. Gets it through the covers and gets herself a boundary. So recovered from the final delivery. 8 runs coming from the 5th over. The Barmy Army, 19 for none.
Thanks, Adam and Georgie. Nice change in the commentary team. I'm Mark Farmer, and I'm here with Mel Farrell.
Yeah, lovely to be back here again. Very different game, this one for the Falcons, than the one that we saw in the opening match of this tournament.
We see Mariko Hill, Hong Kong player, into the action. Replay of this boundary. Playing it so late and crushing it through the covers. Out past the outstretched arm of Tina Goff from Germany. Yeah, Mariko Hill, 24 T20Is, 13 wickets. Great economy of 4.85 are the best figures of 1 for 3. I know her well, coming from Hong Kong. Fantastic all-round cricketer. And she picked up the first wicket of the tournament. Strays down leg, and that's 4 runs.
Yeah, some easy runs there, just a little bit loose that time, Mariko Hill. She got the wicket of Hayley Matthews, first one to fall in the tournament. A wonderful moment too. Real celebrations just on that occasion, just not quite getting it right, but she'll go down in history for that wicket.
Wow, wide outside off and absolutely blasted through the covers. Phenomenal shot.
Just tried to compensate a bit after straying down leg side the previous ball. That time just giving it width, and look at that, right in the slot. It was uppish but straight into the gap, and easy 4 runs there.
Kavisha Kumari, the young batter from the UAE, and beats the outside edge. Great comeback. Well, these two would have played against each other a lot. There was a 4-match T20I series between Hong Kong and the UAE right before the start of Fairbreak. UAE winning all 4 of those matches.
The scramble seam, and just moved away from her, shaped away just a little bit. So smart bowling there, good recovery from Hill.
See, it looked like it might have been a cross-seam delivery. Spoke about the wicket getting a little bit slower, and we'll see how it goes. That's the end of the power play, 30 without loss. That's the end of the power play. The Barmy Army 30 without loss. Steady start as they seem to be just easing their way in, understanding the conditions a little bit more.
There's Simon Taufel signalling there, looking resplendent. He said he thought he might look a bit like the purple wiggle the other day, and I said yes, he does. He wasn't particularly happy with me, but looking good. There he is, look at that, purple wiggle. Famous kids entertainment group.
Andrew Dotton, great piece of running, backing up a long way. Yeah, it might be an awkward walk past Simon through the hallways of the hotel later this evening.
Yeah, no one tell him that I actually said that on commentary. Deandra Dotton might be just a little bit cautious too here with spin. She did get out first ball to Sophie Eccleston last night. He takes a single. Yeah, the first ball that Sophie Eccleston bowled. It was quite a moment in that match against the Spirit.
Sophie had a huge impact on that game. Deandra looks like she's given herself a bit of time to get set here. Big swing. Yeah, we know the firepower that she can bring. In the last 2 years, she's scored 301 runs in T20Is, the most by any West Indian batter in women's cricket. It's almost like a cross seam, and it just slides on. Just worked into the leg side for 1 to finish the over. That's 7 gone, 33 without loss. Welcome back as we take a look at the broadcasters. This Fairbreak Invitational 2022 getting streamed around the world. India, Eurosport. Pakistan, PTV Sports. Australia, EN Sports. Sky Sport, New Zealand. The USA, Willow Cricket. All through Southeast Asia, SPO TV. A wide to start, but that's Tina Goff, the left-arm bowler from Germany. I know her well from time that I spent in and around Oxford University, not as a student. Go through back to the power play. Andrew Dotton showing glimpses of what could be to come later in this innings.
Oh, that ball, she got the line much better, but it's very full right up in the block hole.
Carry on with the power play. Mariko dragging it down there. Finally getting into the action. Tina Goff slow and dropping short, but gets away with it.
I had a chat with her at the function. She's actually spent a lot of time in Birmingham, which is where I live in England. Had a nice little chat about the area of Edgbaston.
Yeah, interesting there from Tina Goff. Looks to have taken the pace off the ball after that first ball. She looked to have a real effort in it, but seems to just be holding that back a little bit.
Just feel like the Barmy Army batters out there, Dotton and Kavisha, they've been able to find the boundary a few times, but just being able to turn over the strike a little bit more regularly, realising that you have to really fight for every run here.
He's running between the wickets. It goes straight to the fielder. Seen running between the wickets been a really significant thing over the past few games. Some great running between the wickets, but also that challenge of batting combinations and learning how to communicate with each other.
And we've certainly seen some of the fielding put real pressure on the batters as well. A couple of run-outs that we've seen so far in this tournament.
Well, toss blasted. Is that going to be a maximum? It certainly is. That's all the way, miles over the road. Kavisha, wow, what a shot.
Wow, just saying that you're going to have to fight for every run, but sometimes they're served up on a platter, and this one certainly was. It was slow, it was floaty. She gave it plenty of welly, Kavisha. Wasn't quite an over the waist for a no ball. She knew she'd made that a bit easy for her as well. Got what it deserved.
That's wide, and she's going to have another crack at that. Kavisha Kumari, she scored 660 runs in her T20Is. The second most for the UAE, only behind Isha Oza, who's in this tournament as well. She scored 835 in her career. It's a full toss again to the leg side, and it's just going to pull short.
I almost thought that was going to be one that was going to bag a wicket, but that is the last ball of the over, the end of the 8th over. Barmy Army, 44 for none.
See the breakdown of the bowlers, 5 used already, certainly mixing around. We saw last night one of the captains go through 7-8 bowlers, and a lot of changing things up as they learn about their teams and their combinations, and it's been really interesting to see the different sides tactically how they're going about things, pulling their teams together. As we see Marina Lamplau, another Hong Kong bowler, come into the attack.
Lamplau yet to take a wicket. She bowled 4 overs in the Falcons' first match. Finished with none for 31. She was a bit expensive. She might have learned a few things along the way.
Out to the covers for one. Yeah, Marina admits that she's a big member of the Susie Bates fan club and a good friend of her, having been in the squad down in the Otago Sparks and playing a little bit of cricket down there. But is qualified for Hong Kong. She's born and grew up in Hong Kong, but has New Zealand and Italian heritage.
It's interesting you say that about, particularly with the associates, as they just make a few changes to the field here. Danny Wyatt standing in with her captaincy roles, but she's just sent someone down to long off. One of the things that some of the coaches and captains have said is there are a lot of all-rounders. There are a lot in the women's game anyway, but particularly amongst the associates, and I guess it's that thing about almost like club cricket, you know, your best player is someone who goes out and is just a great athlete who does everything. So just trying to work out the roles and how to use all those all-rounders as a particular challenge for the coaches and captains in this tournament. But it makes it fun.
Great delivery, and Deandra Dotton lining up, a little wry smile there. We saw a field change earlier in the over with deep cover coming up, and they've got the leg side field with deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on and long off.
She certainly lined that up. There's a photographer on the boundary just in front of deep square leg. She was lining it up to hit him, I reckon.
Not far off a caught and bowled there, Mel. It's interesting.
She's pretty tall, Lamplau. I reckon if she was a couple of inches taller, she might have had a pop at that. So let's have a look and see how far it was above her head. Oh, not too far at all.
Short and wide, no damage done. And that is the end of a great first over by Marina Lamplau. The Barmy Army 46 without loss after 9. We have a look at the batting card. Barmy Army, solid start, yet to lose a wicket. Deandra Dotton not playing a normal role for her, 18 off 27. And Kavisha Kumari, solid start, 23 off 27. Started in nice and quick at the stumps, and Deandra Dotton unable to do anything with it. Again, we see leg side dominated with the boundaries, deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, the deep cover. Whoa, Dotton coming down the wicket and looking to absolutely launch that into the stands. It just rolls along the ground for one.
Well, it was the second time she sort of shaped up for her shot. Looked like she was looking to hammer it over mid off, I think, and yep, she sure was. Squirted off the inside edge of the bat instead, but you can really see she wants to open up now, Dotton. Beware.
Kumari just settles for the one. She's playing a great innings here, Kavisha Kumari, the young 19-year-old from the UAE, out here in the middle with a world boss What an experience.
Well, not just the experience, but she's kind of taken the lead role, really. As she grabs another single, they think about the second, but then think better of it. But it's the fact that she's not overawed at all by the fact that she's got Deandra Dottin at the other end. And at times, she's looked like the one who is more likely to score. She's played some big shots, hammered a 6 off Goff. She looks very comfortable out there.
Could it be? The finger's up and there's a wicket. Commentator's curse if I've ever heard one. Kavisha Kumari, we're sorry about that. And off she goes.
There's no such thing as a commentator's curse. No such thing as a mods, I'm telling you now. I don't think that Kavisha will thank me for it, though. She just got the faintest of edges. Just enough. And there you see the celebration of the Falcons. They've been working on that one all week. A little celebration for them, and why not? They have their first wicket as Kavisha Kumari departs for 24, and the Barmy Army are 49 for 1.
Laura Vulvart from South Africa, new batter. Faced the last ball of 10th over. Got the breakthrough. She finishes her third. Good figures for Adapatu. 1 for 14 off her 3. Let's just look at the progress so far as we're halfway through first innings of the Barmy Army. Dottin 20 off 30, hasn't really got into stride, but the bowling's been very good. Kavisha Kumari just out. Nice catch by the tie keeper Concharan Kai. Laura Vulva just faced the 1 ball, so 49 off 10. They'll be looking to get on with that with the Dottin night to come. Lamplow continues. Beautifully bowled. Terrific off speed.
There's the wicket again. Caught by the keeper there. And that's broken up that opening partnership. 49. Didn't quite make the 50 mark of that partnership. Mari out. The only wicket to fall so far today.
Nice combination, Lamplow. Slow ball, which really deceived Dotton, who's used to loves the pace coming on, and then Yorker after that.
Yeah, great variations. And you've got to have those variations in T20 cricket. You've got to use the crease, the angle of the run, subtlety.
Yeah, what about that variation in celebration?
Oh, we love the celebrations, don't we? The Falcons especially.
Yeah, they've been rehearsing that one, I think.
Fluttering around.
But on the money, the bowling has been tight today. One of Dotton's worldly experience has not been able to get on top of this very accurate Falcons attack. See if Laura Vulvard, who is just a classic stroke breaker, see if she can break the shackles here. She may have to just have a look for a while. Here, she can't just get on with it straight away here, so she might look at a few.
Well, she scored a few runs last night, didn't she, in that majestic win by the Barmy Army against Spirit. Scored 38, 65 partnership with Knight, glued the innings together.
Well, she gets a gift, but can only put it away for a single.
It's an absolute gift when you're the new bat out there. A juicy full toss. Thank you very much.
On the money and slow again. The batter has to create her own pace, and the field's well placed. Now, this is good T20 cricket from the Falcons.
Yeah, and at 10 overs, they were 49 for 1. So we'll keep an eye on that score because we've been talking about bonus points. They're important further on, the latter stages of the tournament.
And exactly what the Barmy Army were yesterday. 49 off the first 10.
Memory.
Well, bowled again. Bulbuck forces it away off the back foot, thinks of two. Hill chases in hard into the 11th over, 53 for 1. Marietta Patu, 100 on debut in Fairbreak, and now bowling delightfully. Adipadu, good with the ball, good with the bat. Terrific player for Sri Lanka. Kavisha Kumari, the local, the UAE player. Not quite a runner ball, but she was looking a little more comfortable than Deandra Dotton. You don't often say that. Now, Gujran Shukla gets the bowl at Laura Vulvard. Like most spinners, quite fussy with the field placements. Just misses leg stump, little slider. Sweden versus South Africa, love that challenge.
Absolutely, we've got a few Europeans in the side this time. Sweden and Germany represented.
But the second time round it gets called, a little bit of swing too. Got to move the line over a stump or two's width. Better line. There's trouble here with a direct hit. It just misses. Maybe that panic's a sign of the tight bowling having effect on this Army batting. But that looked like trouble from the outset.
We've had quite a few run-outs in this tournament so far. I know we had 4 yesterday evening. And you do wonder about communication between the batters sometimes. Very close, a direct hit. She would have been way out.
This one drifting into the pads again. But in T20, that's not a bad delivery. There's protection on the leg side. It's not short enough for the batter to get under and hit hard and high to settle for a single. Well, a little misfield. Only cost a single. Maybe that's a bonus for Shukla, because that was another full toss that on another day Laura Vulvart would have taken full toll of.
Well, she's played plenty of men's cricket, Shukla, in Sweden. Captains the men's side even.
Oh, brilliantly bowled. Little in-swinging Yorker. Lovely seam position. It drops and swings. And Dotton digs. They're off with a shovel with that one.
They've got their fair share of left armers in this side, Falcons. They've got 3 left armers.
Oh, misstumping. Dotton had to take it on. She had to create the pace. And Shukla misses a wicket in her first over. The Barmy Army survive at 57 for 1.
Shuffle up the pitch and a huge heave and a miss, and a big miss there by the wicketkeeper, and it's Doughton who's batting. Will they live to regret that? She's already on 23 off 37. Been a great scalp there for Shukla. Still smiling though.
Gudrun Shukla from Sweden. Most picked up a wicket in the first over. What a big wicket that would have been. Deandra Dotton on your first over in the Fairbreak tournament. Let's have another look at it. It actually seemed a long way, and Koncharenkai is an outstanding keeper. But this one, when it hits, it does move off the seam. And a tough one when they come back between bat and pad. They're toughies, and Danny Wise is bad luck, but you get another chance.
Well, it's tough for wicketkeepers anyway in T20. There's a lot of movement in front of them, and all these shots and flicks and balls coming over the shoulder and foot movement.
Mariko Hill is back on. And just slides by leg stump. And once again, on another day, Laura Vulvart scores. Maybe just plays a fine leg land. You don't have to get fussy, or particularly with a ball of that nature. Just play your normal cricket shot. You do sense just some pressure coming back onto the Army at this stage. And that delivery, Danny White says, well, we'll have a change. We'll put the fine leg back. We'll bring the deep backward square leg up next to the umpire. This might be a couple, because the sweeper out there is fairly straight. Dived inside. They come back for 3. I'll have to hurry. Vulvart does.
Good running there in the end to get 3. It's been a long time since we've had a boundary. 27 balls since the last boundary. A little bit of pressure out there for Barmy Army. Current run rate nearly up to 5, but you need to be getting on with it. They've been relatively low scoring games over the last couple of days. Rico Hill here. Old timer for Fairbreak. Been around since the beginnings.
Fine leg comes up. Dotton's response, well, I'll just ramp that. Nice shot. Shot of a veteran.
Great premeditation there. Doughton, she's done that a few times before. We know how aggressive she can be. She's destructive. Here she is. Here's the premeditation. Changes the grip. Just flicks that little ramp shot. She knows where the gaps are. That's 4 runs.
Mariko Hill has actually bowled to a field when they put the fine leg up, a deep square goes back. So she's got to bowl outside off stump. And that's what she did. But Deandra Dotton was too good. Pretty tough to ramp that one.
Just trying to overcompensate a bit there. Mariko Hill just goes wide. She's warmed up though, Mariko Hill. She's been playing in Dubai against the UAE, picked up 7 wickets. It was only a couple of weeks ago.
And it doesn't matter if the deep backward square leg is on the fence, because that's gone all the way. That's what we expect of Deandra Dotton. The pressure is going right back onto the bowler.
You've got to win that dominance battle as a batsman. And they'll be targeting bowlers, of course, as well. He's that nice and early. Has launched it out into the stand out there. Very strong, Dotin.
Mariko Hill has some options. Where do I bowl? Full and wide, short. She gets short. Not the worst option, not the worst delivery, but Dotton's up for the challenge. Just starting to change up the gears now.
It's an agricultural shot, but it is certainly effective from Dotin. We know that she has hit the fastest ton in women's T20 internationals of 38 balls. It was the fastest at the time out of men and women.
Tempted Yorker, almost got it right. They come back for 2. Dotton's strolling because the throw's not going to her end. Good over for the Army, 77 for 1. Barmy Army were 49 of 10, so they've got their foot on the accelerator now. That will bring challenges for Danny White. Skippering today in Susie Bates' absence. She's at the hotel under the weather today. Nice to have one of Danny White's experiences to fill in for you. And she's got her challenges. It's Jamari Atapatu who's back on.
Borvart, she's just one of the most aesthetically pleasing players with that signature shot, that cover drive, that crisp cover drive that she plays. Just looks beautiful. Have to wait for that.
Dotton goes long, very long.
Wow, got that strike rate above 100 now. Hasn't taken her long. She's opening up, that's for sure. Gets underneath it, sees it very early, and has gone really big there.
It's just laden with power, isn't it? So Jamari Atapatu goes wide. Dotton chases. Or edges the middle, but it doesn't really matter because it goes for 4. When you swing that hard, you get rewards.
Here we go again.
That's about 180 degrees from the previous 6. This time she gets hard on the ground. Oh, that is incredibly hard hit. Curtis Satish gets a bad bounce out there, and now Dotton's brought up her half century rapidly.
She is motoring here. 53 or 44 deliveries, a strike rate of 120. Having a bit of fun. Very difficult to set a field to Dotin at the moment. She can hit it all around the park. Annie Wyatt's got a job on her hands here as the standing captain for Susie Bates.
Slower and higher. Terrific bowling, and the catch goes down. Tough one's got to say. Atapatu thought I'll go higher, slower, make Dotton reach her. She did. That part succeeded. They couldn't complete the deal.
Atapatu giving it plenty of flight there. Miss Phil, not close enough to it. Don't think it was catchable in the end. Put the dive in. Atapatu's got the double teapot on. I'm not surprised.
And Dotton just shows some respect off the last ball. The figures are ruined. ANTI-PIRACY, 1 for 33 of her 4, 96 for 1, 14 gone.
So last 30 balls, let's have a look at some stats here. 50 off the last 30 balls. Loss of a wicket as well. And 19 off that last over. Looking expensive. Andrew Dottin, exciting.
Dotton's got a foot to the floor. 19 off the last over, and that was off Jamari ANTI-PIRACY, who'd been quite miserly up to that point. Dotton showing her experience. She knows when to accelerate, what bowlers to take on. Lamplow from Hong Kong is back on. She's been fairly miserly as well as they look for the second. But that's well run. Wolvart in and out at the non-strikers end very quickly, and that is the key to picking up second or third runs.
I think Wolvart will be happy to give Dottin the strike though at the moment. It's good running, take on the fielder. Showing their experience out there, these two, Dottin and Wolvart.
An off-speed ball rolling to your field. Just a single. Now she's got a bowl to Dottin. The pressure level just goes up a little, Liz.
Absolutely, I was just thinking about the nerves of Lamplow. She has to bowl at Deandra Dottin. 50 partnership is up between Dottin and Wolvart now. 5 4s and 2 6s in amongst that lot.
Deep cover comes in. Long off goes out. Deep backward square leg, long on, and a cow corner or a deep wide mid-wicket on your expression. Well bowled. Oh, brilliantly fielded. Will he come back for 3? No. Put that in your book as saving 2 runs.
Great commitment there. Falcons. To see how nervous Lamplow is. She bowls to Dottin. Was a full toss. Not quite put away there. Lovely piece of fielding.
Lamplow's off-pace stuff is so difficult to get hold of. There's a nice contrast. 3 balls the first half ton and 24 for the second. That is accelerating in T20 cricket. In the air, but safe. Well, that hung in the air for a long time. Dotton's put it in the gap.
Yeah, it's complete manipulation here from Dottin. It's hung in the air a bit there. It lands in no man's land in the end. Just bisecting the fielders and plugs a little bit.
Well, that gives herself room, but it doesn't work. Nice over from Lamplow. She's just gone for 12 of her 3. It's 102 for 1.
.49 runs in the first 10 overs and 53 in the next 5. So 5 overs of acceleration. Can they stick the landing? Dotton on strike on 60. She's really moved through the gears after a sluggish start, clearing the rope on a couple of occasions. Gets a look here at Shukla. He bowled one tidy over earlier when the squeeze was on inside the first 10. Adam Collins picking up commentary. I've got Georgie Heath with me. We're enjoying this. Deandra Dotton starting to fire.
Yeah, she's accelerating here. She missed out in the first game yesterday, so she would have been eager to stamp her authority today.
Straight. Just cut off at the last. Jahanara does well. They come back for a couple. Great story this for Shukla, the bowler here, Swedish international. Born in India, moved to Sweden just 9 years ago. She was captain of the Swedish men's team for 3 years upon arrival. Ooh, chance put down, and that stung as well. Whacked her on the end of the finger. Looks like she's okay. Low on the bat. The wrist. Does better here. Beautifully struck by the South African. Wolvart's second boundary.
Yes, he's just not finding her length there. Laura Wolvart is too good to miss out on that. She's going to eat that up all day long, straight back over the bowler's head. Barmy Army starting to race here. They're finding the boundary a lot more than they could in the first.
Well, stumping, yes, excellent work. What a wonderful response from Shukla. Going wide, making sure she'd have to earn it. Koncharankai, an experienced wicketkeeper, equal to it, whipping the bails off. Second wicket falls just when Wolvart was looking to put the foot down herself along with Deandra Dotton. The Barmy Army, 109 for 2. A fairly useful player to walk in the death here. England's captain, superstar Heather Knight. Down the leg side. Yep, signalled wide. Let's take another look at the dismissal. So noting that the previous delivery was full and straight, and Wolvart danced and smacked it straight back over her head. Shukla bowling to a plan well outside the off stump, saw her coming. And rewarded for her guile. Completes her over here. 1-1 for 2, the Barmy Army, 4 overs to go. Georgie, you picked up in the celebration, there's something they were planning before the tournament.
Yeah, so they're a lively bunch, these Falcons, and they've got this sort of, well, I'm sure we'll see images of it all over these few weeks, but they've got this sort of flapping hand situation they do. Danny Wyatt's very happy on it, and it's obviously some kind of bird signal with the hands. Adam's just chuckling at me next to it while I'm trying to describe and act it out all at the same time.
Jahanara alarm bowl, 2 overs off the top to 7 runs from the Bangladesh attack leader. Doing that job here for the Falcons. They're going to set it up here. Knight's on strike. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket. Only 3 outside the circle. No, they'll send the deep point back to that Feels like a prudent move. We're not going to just have 3 outside the circle for Heather Knight. Might be a couple there, well weighted. Yeah, spot on. Heather Knight, vastly experienced as a leader. Took over the captaincy back in 2016. Here is that celebration. Chamari Adapadu. Brilliant. Just when they needed it as well.
Yeah, they were just finding a bit of acceleration there, weren't they, the Barmy Army? But that's put a stop to that one. But then, yeah, Heather Knight comes to the crease. It's not like you've really put a stop to too much.
Extra pace. Hit the seam. Good bowling. It's that striking setup with the headband that we've seen for many years, Georgie, and the eye makeup as well.
I've been promised a lesson.
Across the line, makes good contact out towards deep mid-wicket and gets herself a boundary. A premeditated shot. Heather Knight got into position early, saw that gap there at Cow Corner, made no mistake. Just about all the way.
Yeah, just a bit of a loose delivery there, and Heather Knight is more than equal to it. Down on one knee, and it's all the way for 4. Jahanara just desperation with her hands on her head there.
Prompted change to the field. The deep mid wicket goes a fraction straighter out towards Cow Corner, shall we say. Still 2 on the offside, out patrolling the rope. Deep cover point, deep long off in front of us at the Dubai Sports City end. Knight wants 2. Might get 4. No, we're happy with a couple. Placing it between those aforementioned sweepers on the offside. She started well. I mentioned before her experience. She's won 39 T20s as captain of England. The only skippers with more. Meg Lanning was 61 and Charlotte Edwards was 68. So it gives you some sense of her longevity. How well England have played this form of the game under her tutelage the last couple of years. Well bowled. Right out there on the tram tracks. Not a lot that Knight could have done coming down the strip. They were unlucky in 2020 not to make the World Cup final. They made the semi and were washed out at the Sydney Cricket Ground, so they didn't the opportunity to progress with India higher on the points table. They missed out. England were just finding form at the right time in that competition. They made the final in 2018, the Caribbean. Right again across the line. Ooh, indecision. Opportunity, but the throw needed to be spot on and it wasn't. So 3 overs to go. The Barmy Army up to 1-2, 1 for 2. So Knight, 31 years of age, doing the job a long time. You get the sense that she's got plenty of unfinished business. Held the trophy aloft at Lords back in 2017. A real turning point for women's cricket, wasn't it, Georgie? Having a packed Lords and every public seat sold. $18 balls left. It all said at least a runner ball, which last night was competitive. 117 defended in the first game and 125 defended in the second. The pitch is only getting slower. The Bhutan left armour returns to the attack, conceding just 4 runs off the top of the innings. Bowled a maiden, second over of the game. sent down just one poor delivery, which Dotton put away. It's Dotton on strike again here. They'll set up with a long on, deep mid wicket, a fine leg, and a long off outside the circle. Yeah, that 2017 World Cup final, Georgie, where Heather Knight was leading England to victory in a thrilling finale. Every public seat was sold at Lord's that day. I mean, give a sense of how that felt to you as a turning point in women's cricket, not only in England but around the world.
Yeah, that's the thing, is even women's cricket at Lord's in the first place, that was a historic thing. And then to sell it out, and then that Anya Shrubsole's sixfer just topped it all off. It really was an historic moment for women's cricket globally and not just in England. And then for them to lift the trophy in their home country, it's quite something.
Dotton, flat, 4. Lampard was nearly in the frame there, but it was hit so well. Dotton's ninth boundary, a couple of sixes too. Opening up the stumps and flaying it with all their might. Picks out the sweeper this time, giving Knight the strike back. Yeah, it felt as though that final, 180 million people watched that World Cup final around the world. It was the most viewed day of cricket in 2017, full stop, on television. I mentioned all the tickets being sold in the public areas, and it just sounded different, Lords, that day. It just didn't have the stuffiness that, it's not always the case, that ground, but it can be occasionally. So many young people there, so many former players and women who've been involved when cricket wasn't a professional pursuit, who were able to celebrate all being at the same place and watching a cracking game of cricket that went all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough recently to be at a celebration of the women's game at Lord's in the long room, and it's one of those things you look around and you think, we're here celebrating the women's game in this place, and it shows the change we've had.
Straight again, second time in the over. When it's in Dotton's arc, she's firing now up to 69, giving the Barmy Army a chance of setting a tally of up towards 155, 160. Certainly if she's still there, they will.
Yeah, she's set her intentions, hasn't she? She's not out there to nudge a nurdle. The world boss is here to show us why she's wearing that on her back rather than dotting.
Backed away. Happy with the single. Slow start, mentioning he made 49 runs in that initial 10-over burst. So that's what they'll be defending in the first 10 overs. Remember that there is 1 point allocated for the first half of the game, and then the additional 3 will remain the remaining 3 points for the winning team after 20. It was 15 off 22 at one stage. So Knight retains the strike. 18 overs gone, the Barmy Army 134 for 2. Yeah, and I think the MCC and Lords more generally have done a great job of embracing the women's game in recent years. Isabel Duncan, our colleague on the broadcasters, has written extensively about this in the past and been involved at the MCC. It was once joked to me that it's an organisation that was a very 19th century organisation, very 21st century, just skip the 20th in between. So 2 overs left. Dotton into the 70s there with the captain Knight. And Lamplauer, who's been frugal so far, conceding just 12 runs from her 3 overs. Watching for that back of the hand slower ball.
They're rotating the strike well here, these two. You can tell they're very experienced players, and they may not have played together much before, although they were at London Spirit in the 100, Knight and Dottin together last summer. So maybe a bit of knowing each other's game there. But yeah, they're rotating nicely, and we've seen a few run-outs in this tournament so far, but these two seem to have an idea of what's going on at the other end.
Pace off. Might have been at the back of the hand. That Lamplau in practice was deceiving her teammates with that. Yeah, there it is. Nice high seam, dipping on the right-handed Dottin. Such a vital delivery for a seamer in 20-over cricket these days, men and women, going around the world. Again, no pace on that. Makes it hard. Try and play it through the onside when it's coming down so slowly, but that's by design. That's a feature, not a flaw.
Yeah, and it's great work by her here, because these two were looking like they were motoring, and she's just put a little stopper on that, and it's the last thing you want in the penultimate over. You really want to be motoring at this point if you're Deandra Dottin.
That's it again. Excellent bowling. And it may not be pretty landing on that part of the pitch that slowly, but all the work she's getting on it out of her fingers to dip as quickly as it does.
Yeah, and it's trust put in her to bowl this over by Captain Danny Wyatt, and she's really proving that she's deserving of it.
Knight tries to change it up by shimmying down the track, but the result's the same. Single after single here. Just what the Falcons needed after a couple of busy overs from the Barmy Army. Lamplau plays a lot of her cricket in New Zealand, represents Hong Kong at international level, but yeah, grew up in New Zealand. Her parents lived there. Plays alongside Suzie Bates for Otago. Catches this on the full here, Dottin, able to put it away. Over complete. One to come, the Barmy Army. 143 for 2.
Yeah, here we go. Dottin just putting that blemish on the end of what was a really fine looking over there from Lamplau. So 4 off the last ball is just a little too... she's gone full toss there, and yeah, Dottin's going to eat those ones up.
It was seam up as well. It's the one that she didn't send out the back of the hand. The 4 previous deliveries, they couldn't get anything on, and she changed tack to finish and paid a price for it.
Very much, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Something like that. Jahanara Alam will bowl the 20th over of the innings for the Falcons. Knight on strike. They'll go deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and deep extra cover. So watch to see whether Knight tries to open up fine leg here, jumping across her stumps. I wouldn't be surprised. And so she does. Nicely played. Such a good cricketer, Heather Knight. Resourceful. Using the width of the crease and getting a boundary away, moving into the 20s.
That's lovely from the captain there, doing exactly what you instructed her, Adam.
I think you can kind of telegraph the punch here a little bit with... I'm surprised they've gone with the extra fielder on the offside when they have the chance to stack the leg. Going to bowl with this field, you really need to be a long way outside the off stump. Bull and out towards the tram tracks. Change of angle, so Jahanara going around the wicket. And that does open up behind square if Knight can get inside of it. That's perfect from Jahanara. Going to bowl on that angle, exacerbate it. Go as wide as you can.
Yeah, it's a good recovery there from Jahanara. She's a very seasoned professional. Yeah, you say just coming around the wicket, and Knight just couldn't quite get on that one. Dropped by the wicket keeper, but No worries there. No run taken. Yes, 147 for 2 with 4 to go.
Deep third as well, so changing field. Mid off inside the circle. Deep third's gone back with the change of angle. Boulder, really clever stuff. She knew what Knight was going to do from a couple of balls before, and the bravery to target leg stump, kept it full and rewarded accordingly. High risk, high reward. And Knight's gone inside the final over with 3 balls to go. Played it onto the leg stump, and she loved it.
There's that celebration. There it is. We're going to be watching for those the whole 2 weeks. We saw some great celebrations yesterday. Yeah, Jahanara is absolutely chuffed with that one. It's 147 for 3. Heather Knight has gone for 20.
Three balls to go. Shermaine Campbell in. Strikes this nicely. Deep point though. Just a single. Shermaine Campbell finished well yesterday, an unbeaten 28 from 17 balls, and in the context of a low-scoring evening, it was important watching the wicket back here. Knight was always going to try it again. It worked early in the over. Jahanara might have seen her coming, thus how full it was, and yeah, great celebration. Always enjoy her passion playing around the world. Good again, extra pace. So when it's pace on, it's well wide of the off stump, full. Got that support at deep third, so even if Dotton throws her hands at it and gets an edge, in all probability it's going to be collected for a single. So they thought this through this final over.
Dotton's not amused by that one. She's just having a little sit down before the last, what could be the last ball of the innings. Maybe this is how she's going to set up for the last ball. Oh, she's up.
If anyone's going to, it would be Deandra Dotton, not to be. Last ball of the innings. I don't mind that from Jahanara. Dotton coming across her stumps obviously knew what the game was, and she's like, no, that's okay, you can do your thing, I'll go back to the top of my mark and I'll go again. Nothing wrong with that at all. No obligation on her to release the ball.
Maybe she should have stayed on the floor.
Bit of a stare there, then a smile. Might only be the day 3 of the competition. It's been taken very seriously. Fair enough too. Where'd she go here? Well wide of the off stump. Let's see. They're bringing in a second catcher on the edge of the circle, or a second fielder on the edge of the circle behind point. Deep third goes a fraction square of 2. Yeah, Dotton gets there. It did come off the outside portion of the bat. She did give it everything. Frustration for Jahanara Alam, conceding a boundary from an eventful and interesting final over. 9 runs coming from it and the wicket of Heather Knight. So they do go beyond 150, which when you consider where they were at the halfway mark, with just 49 on the board, the second 10's been worth 103. And on a track that's getting slower, 152, it's going to take some chasing.
Yeah, you see Dotton, she was always going to swing at that one, and she found the edge. It wasn't quite where she was aiming to send the ball, but she'll be happy with that boundary. I'm not sure if she looks like she's hobbling a little bit as she heads off there. Maybe just tired. It is very hot out there. We were saying, what, 36 degrees earlier? So perhaps that.
So Dotton, who started slowly, she was 15 from 22 at one stage, finishes with a strike rate of 136 and unbeaten 80, batting through the innings. Support from Kavisha early in that modest start. Woolbart was just getting going when she was dismissed, and Heather Knight bowled in Is looking down towards the boundary line, seeing whether we can grab a moment with Deandra Dotton. We'll know momentarily. As you identified before, Georgie, there was some sort of cramp. So we're not going to have a chat with Dotton. We might do that later. It may very well be the case that she ends up player of the match. So, the state of play. The Barmy Army, after being sent in, made 152 for 3, which means the Falcons require 153 to win. On a slowing pitch, the tough yards. The Barmy Army have done well. After the break, we'll return with the chase.
Well, Deandra Dotton joins me now, 80 of 59, but it looked like it was a little bit difficult to get going out there, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, to be honest, starting off, I struggled a bit, but I knew that once I stayed there for a couple more overs, then I would get it off the middle of the bat.
We know it's been hard to bat out here as the pitch has become worn. Is the key just having that patience and knowing when to go? It looked like you picked out that Chamari Atapatu over in there.
The key is to have patience, occupy the crease long and just pick the particular bowlers that you know to go at in order to get the big overs.
And did you decide beforehand that you were going to go for Chamari Atapatu, or was it a case of waiting for the ball?
Well, yeah, I decided that over that I'm going to go because we actually needed runs, actually boundaries and stuff, so I just told Laura that I'm going to go.
Okay, well, 153, do you reckon that's a good total to defend?
Well, yeah, once you bowl the right areas and keep consistent, I think we'll defend it.
Okay, I love it. I love that Deandra Dotton talks about patience because she's someone who's always in a hurry to score. We'll see if they're able to defend that. She'll be out there bowling. Good luck in the second innings.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Dubai International Cricket Stadium, the Fairbreak SDG Invitational, Barmy Army versus the Falcons. We're at the halfway point, and the star of the first innings, Deandra Dotton, she's downstairs with Mel Farrell.
Well, Deandra Dotton joins me now, 80 of 59, but it looked like it was a little bit difficult to get going out there, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, to be honest, starting off, I struggled a bit, but I knew that once I stayed there for a couple more overs, then I would get it off the middle of the bat.
We know it's been hard to bat out here as the pitch has become worn. Is the key just having that patience and knowing when to go? It looked like you picked out that Chamari Atapatu over in there.
The key is to have patience, you know, occupy the crease long and just pick the particular bowlers that you know to go at in order to get the big overs.
And did you decide beforehand that you were going to go for Chamari Atapatu, or was it a case of waiting for the ball?
Well, yeah, I decided that over that I'm going to go because we actually needed runs, actually boundaries and stuff. So I just told Laura that I'm going to go.
Okay, well, 153, do you reckon that's a good total to defend?
Well, yeah, once you bowl the right areas and keep consistent, I think we defend it.
Okay, I love it. I love that Deandra Dottin talks about patience because she's someone who's always in a hurry to score. We'll see if they're able to defend that. She'll be out there bowling. Good luck in the second innings.
Thank you.
Yeah, some nice insights from the world boss there by calculated batting. Because they got away to a slowish start, but it was a calculated start before Deandra herself and a little intervention from Laura Woolbart and Heather Knight just up that rate. But Dotton certainly the star of that 152 for 3, which I think is a pretty good score on this wicket. So let's just have a look at how things evolved.
And that's crisply driven again. A lot of boundaries here for Dotton. Going aerial, being aggressive, destructive. And there is the celebration. Just squeeze through. Bit of manipulation there once again from Dottin. It's all about Dottin launching once more. She's gone big. Agricultural but effective. Here she goes again. All muscle with that. Aerial, aerial. She's enjoying herself. And a bit of flight is put away outside of the off stump in this field. That's her 50. All aggression. Getting past the fielders. Lovely stumping from Nana Put there. Other people joining in. Here she is once more. Swatted away. Couldn't get near that. Dottin at her best. Flexing those muscles. Good foot movement. Be able to do that in T20. Heather Knight also joining the party. And there's the played on. Clever bowling from Bashundhara. And we love the flutter from the Falcons.
The Falcons flutter. They would have liked to flutter a few more times. Just the 3 wickets. And this is the last ball of the innings. Bashundhara bowled a pretty good one there. But Dottin was just too good today. So will 152 be enough? It might take another power innings from the Falcons batting. Without Susie Bates tonight, who was a big influence on the opening evening. But that's a pretty good target, 153. That's a couple of stars coming out to start the chase.
Well, that'll be Danny Wyatt, I think, coming out. The skipper. It'll be her first game. She wasn't very well to start with. She arrived a little bit late, but she's taken over the captaincy today and has done it well.
Danny White, she's got the captaincy tonight thrust onto her with Susie Bates a bit under the weather, but a veteran, a classic, classy player. And at the other end, another classic, classy player who is coming off 100. You might need a good 60 or 70 or 80 tonight to get the Falcons across the line. I'm expecting a good contest though. I think the pitch is still playing fairly well. I just think some of the bowlers have figured it out, what the line and length to bowl, and take the pace off a lot. So the lack of pace is from the bowlers, not from the pitch.
Well, I certainly watched your pitch report earlier, Jeff Lawson. It was very good, and you talked about it being a little bit slower. This will be the 4th game that we're playing on this pitch.
Yes, I did hammer out a report there.
Took your DIY kit with you, I noticed. I thought you were going to bring up the worms with all that hammering.
they'd be sturdy worms to get through that surface, I can assure you. It's as hard as a rock out there.
Only in England you'd find the worms.
Talk about veterans, Simon Torfel, one of the leading umpires of the world. He's been off the. Let's say he's not a player anymore. He's retired. He's out in the middle as an umpire. He was giving up the umpiring a little while ago, and he's making the rules. We just had a little look at Jamari in the tournament opener. The boundaries aren't big enough.
Yeah, certainly beating the Spirit. Barmy beat the Spirit last night.
I got a feeling, and what are they? They're not missing the ball, are they? Oh. Don't throw it, it's brand new. Well, I've seen a lot of things in my day, but I haven't seen everyone stroll out without the rock to start the game. I've never, ever seen that. And Simon Torfel, if he amused on the outside, he wouldn't be amused on the inside.
We love that. The sash ball went missing.
Here we go. First ball. ANTI-PIRACY on strike. Gets a good one from Fatawasana.
Yeah, Fatawasana of Pakistan, bowling all-rounder, debuted in 2019. Nickname Fatty Pop. Not because she's fat, it's to do with her name. And a rising star.
Nickname. I mean, in Australia, you're not supposed to like your nickname, but maybe Pakistan you do.
I think it's rather endearing. Rising star in Pakistan. Picked up 7 wickets in the World Cup.
Well, Chamari ANTI-PIRACY comes down second ball, advancing. It's got a glove or pad maybe down the leg side, but wow, intent shown early.
Well, she's in form, isn't she? She's full of confidence on the back of that 107 in the opening match on day 1 here.
And I should mention the Jermaine Campbell, that was a great stop. We don't give the keepers enough raps so far during the tournament. That looks easy, but that wasn't. In the air and just wide of the fielder. That landed inside the fielding circle, so it was that catchable height, but ANTI-PIRACY found the gap.
It's accurate bowling there from Fatawasana. Stump to stump bowling, keeping it tight. For the batsmen to free their arms.
The 2 fielders are out, deep third and the square leg. That's on target again, and this time ANTI-PIRACY gets all of it. Well, she found the middle plenty of times the other night. She's found it again already.
Going hard at it now in this power play. ANTI-PIRACY, elegantly played. Just leans into it. All exquisite timing and finding the gap. Every ball's an event here. 8 of the bat. Draying onto the leg stump.
Sana goes fuller, wider, doesn't give ANTI-PIRACY the chance to get underneath it, and she chops it away. But even the good players, that's a good ball to Yorker, she still scores off it. That's a bit of the difference between the big time players, and maybe as the associates, and a trick they have to learn, the score off the good balls. Danny White about to face her first ball of the Fairbreak International. In swing, good change. 1 over done, 7 for no wicket. 152 for 3, the Barmy Army. Very competitive score, really on the back of Deandra Dotton's well-constructed 80 off 59. Steady start, quicker through the middle, went up the gears and finished in a hurry.
Well, she certainly had a game plan, didn't she? She was targeting certain bowlers. She knew when she wanted to open up and rocketed.
All right, Norris from the USA. Good dot. Quite impressive, the Army's victory last night, Tara Norris.
Yeah, took 2 for 17 off her 4. She was tight as well. Had her tail up with her left arm swingers, just using her height as well. Tara Norris, born in the USA.
Just up the road from Jamaica. Up and over cover. There's no sweeper because we're in the power play. 3 bounces, 4.
Yes, ANTI-PIRACY looking to get on with it here. Wanting to attack every ball, score off every ball. That's a proper shot. 1 bounce there for 4. Aggressive from her ton. That first game 2 days ago. Only 2 fielders outside of the ring in the power play.
Nice comeback. It's always tough. You've just been hit for 4 inside out over cover by world's best player. You just watch another of the world's best player tear the Falcons attack apart. A variety of strokes. Touch and some power. Bowled again, Norris. There's trouble here. Wow, Padu set off. Danny Wyatt gave a quick and decisive call, fortunately.
She got away with it here, ANTI-PIRACY. There's a little bit of a wide throw. I think a more accurate throw might have had her. She's back. Miscommunication there between the 2 of them. ANTI-PIRACY in agreement in the end with Danny Wyatt.
How was that? I thought I heard a noise. Should I be appealing or I'm just going for the bowlers? Thought I heard a little noise through there.
Of course you're appealing there, Jeff Lawson. Instinctively. Follow through with the roar.
I didn't see it hit anything. Or bowl Tara Norris.
Variations here from Tara Norris.
Well bowled again, Yorker on middle. That's a terrific comeback after the outstanding inside-out shot from ANTI-PIRACY. So just 5 off the Norris over. The Falcons 12 for no loss. Steady start for the Falcons, as it was for the Barmy Army. Always remembering, at 49 the Army made off their first 10. So the Falcons need 50 off 10 for a bonus point. This is in the air and towards the deep mid wicket, but not struck well enough. Laura Volbot was fairly quick to come in off the boundary. But fortunately for ANTI-PIRACY, she didn't quite get hold of that one, and that's a rarity.
ANTI looking to go aerial once again. Not quite getting hold of it, but it does drop short. For ANTI-PIRACY. Wolfhart, see a pair of hands out there.
Let's see who they've got out for Wyatt. It's a similar sort of field, even though they're very distinctly, okay, one right, one left, that's a distinction, but also the way they play, their styles are different, but there's still the deep square leg, just in the coming in the right picture there, and the deep third as well. 3 on the offside in the circle, 4 on the leg for Danny Wyatt. Not sure if you played with that or not.
Needs to play herself in a bit, I think, Danny Wyatt. Most of the players out there have got a game under their belt already. She's going to have a good look at the pitch and the pace of it. That's tight. It was just late withdrawal inside of the bat. Holds it back. Giving her the benefit of the doubt there.
Well, the bowler would have said you played it. The batter would have said, no, I'll let that go. Late call. Go with the bowler. This one moves into her. Jermaine Campbell does well. God, she's good on her feet, Jermaine Campbell. She just moves laterally so well. It's just a great characteristic of a keeper who can move either side so well.
Well, she does everything as well, doesn't she? She bowls, she bats, she keeps wicket. You can throw anything at her and she'll do it. A great athlete.
Sweepers have changed on the leg side. Dana takes the pace off. So there's a lot of cleverness happening out there. She's been hit hard a couple of times by ANTI-PIRACY, so she's taken the pace off. And Badu has to adjust to that. Just picks up a single. Experienced campaigners going at each other.
Wyatt just playing herself in here.
In the air, safe. The success more about placement than power. But Wyatt's away. 3 of us gone. The Falcons are 19 for none. Danny Wyatt had a slight look of anxiety on the face as this left the blade, but she picked the gap, got it over the infielder. There's a lot of revolve out there. Adam Asana's ruining and almost. They've started at a tick over 6, did a tick over 7 to win.
Yeah, the Barmy Army were 30 for no loss at 6 overs at the end of that power play. That's what they'll be roughly aiming at.
All right, now starts a second. The first was quite useful. Oh, and a little dabble outside the off.
Hope the viewers are enjoying the flags on the shirts. It's a lovely addition to this Fairbreak competition. The first time it's been done. Another dabble, just a bit of fencing outside the off stump. Slower ball there.
This one she gets straighter in the air and put down. Oh no. Oh, that could be expensive. The field was very well placed. It's like Rabina Chetri out there. The Paddy's done well to get it to that spot.
Well, it's the perfect height for catching, isn't it? It was in the pouch, waist height. And poor old Tara Norris. Can't believe it.
And the double whammy as it goes for force. And of course, what happens after someone gets dropped? That's a much better shot. A terrific result.
see if Tara Norris can recover from this. It's just over pitch there, in the slot there from ANTI-PIRACY. And feeling like she's really going. It's gone all the way, gets underneath it. Just over pitched.
I think that's a little high, but beautifully bowled. It's a terrific comeback after you've been hit for 6. Took the pace off it, line and lengths were just about spot on. And ANTI-PIRACY beaten by that lack of pace. Just as she rehearsed, that's a slow ball. Oh, I've got to hit it straighter. Or bowled.
Short of a length there. A bit stuck on the crease. And straightens up. Got a cool head, hasn't she, Tara Norris?
Yeah, I mean, good thinking. And that's what you've got to do when you're facing quality players, particularly in T20. The odds are generally stacked in the batter's favour, and you accept that, but you've got to think through every delivery. Even the ball she got hit for 6 wasn't that bad. The ball was pretty full on middle. It was just a terrific stroke. They're not even like that. I'm not sure if she saw ANTI-PIRACY advancing or she predetermined the short ball, but it's a great tactical choice in any case.
Yeah, just not quite in the right position there in the end, ANTI-PIRACY, and that's a good line there from Norris. It's a cat and mouse game between batter and bowler.
There was 10 off the over, there was a drop catch as well. Norris a bit unlucky there, 29 for none off 4. $29 off 4 for the Falcons, doing 153 to win. Bashundhara 3 on the bounce for her. You don't often see that in T20 cricket.
So Wyatt hasn't seen too much of the action so far. He faced 6 deliveries, but playing well. All new surroundings for her. She wouldn't have played here before, Danny Wyatt. No women's T20s in this stadium before. It's been 1 ODI.
Just runs that towards third. Happy with a single. Sensible stuff. Get ANTI-PIRACY on strike. Grisser. And it gives White a chance to get in, have a look. We've also got the twilight here at the moment. The lights are just coming into effect with the full contrast as the sun's got low, which is good because the heat will be off the middle. But the light sometimes can be a little tricky around twilight.
Oh, Jeff, you're an optometrist, aren't you? So you know all about these things.
A bit. Bowling. Keeping. ANTI-PIRACY riding a luck at the moment, dropped in the outfield in the last over. This hasn't missed off stick by, had a coat of a Denton sticker there.
It's probably the hardest time to bat, isn't it, Jeff, when the lights are coming on like this and a little bit of dew around. Just adapting.
Pace off. Well played. Beats the close fielder, and the deep backward square leg's a long way away, long chase there. Nice thinking from Bashundhara, but better batting.
Just seeing it so well off her legs. A lovely shot from ANTI-PIRACY. Clipped away. Fast outfield. Strike rate now 133 for ANTI-PIRACY. Both these batsmen looking far too comfortable for the Barmy Army's liking.
Bowled again. It's a mixed bag, isn't it? It's ANTI-PIRACY belting him or giving people opportunities. A couple of player misses so far this over.
Over bowling once again, just moving away outside the off stump, beating that off stump. Little prod at that ANTI-PIRACY. 20-year-old Pakistani showing her experience.
That might be a wide. That'll be the end of the over. ANTI-PIRACY rides the luck. The Falcons progress 34 for no wicket.
Welcome back. We've got a change in the commentary. I'm Mark Farmer. I'm here with Georgie Heath, and we're going to have a guest joining us very, very shortly.
So they're motoring a bit here, the Falcons, aren't they? 34 for none from 5 overs. These two looking very comfortable at the top of the innings in their run chase. Barmy Army set 153 to win. But Danny Wyatt and Chimiri Atipatu looking pretty happy out there at the moment. Danny Wyatt captaining today in the absence of Susie Bates.
Romana Ahmed coming in. Danny Wyatt advances. It's just the one down too long on. And we've got our special guest here, Julia Price, the Warriors head coach. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, what a tournament, what a concept. It's been a whirlwind of the last couple of days, and you've finally got a match under your belt. How's the team feeling?
Yeah, they're feeling pretty good. They probably think they let one slip the other day, and they did a really good job. Hallie Matthews and Georgia Redmayne opened beautifully together. And we got 172 on the board. We thought that might have been enough. We might have been able to defend that, but I mean, as we can see, Chimari Atipatu is in some amazing form, and she got that amazing century against us.
Crush, got the full toss, and that's crushed through extra cover 4. Great shot, and she's continuing on this marvellous form that you just touched on from the first game.
Yeah, I mean, we know that she's a good player. We had some really good plans to her, but just couldn't quite execute. I think there was a few nerves around on that first night as well, but you can see her just using her feet here and putting that one through that vacant extra cover. Maybe a little half chance there, but you can't afford to be giving Atipatu too many chances.
Sweep, it's almost got through, but that's going to race away. It's just pulled in. Great piece of running between the wickets. They scurry through. Yeah, interesting point you make there about plans. We've spoken a bit at the start of this tournament going, it's a really unique concept. We've heard Susie Bates, Heather Knight talk about as captains the challenge of getting to know brand new players with new skills, but also communication, all those things coming together.
Look at that fantastic bit of fielding. That's called putting your body on the line to save the runs that you need to at this situation. Yeah, so Julia, what's it like to be part of such a groundbreaking moment in the women's game?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been such a really good vibe around. Everyone's sort of getting to know everyone, and it's good to see all the big names all mingling. And what I've particularly liked is that the fact that the big names are really, really excited about playing with the associate members, getting to know them, getting understanding of the struggles and the battles that you have at the associate level, and it's been great. I think it's good for their empathy and gratitude potentially as well.
Down the wicket, it's up, it's over, and it's one bounce 4, and that's going to finish off The 6th over, the power play's done and dusted. The Falcons motoring along 46 without loss. Welcome back. Well, the Falcons are motoring along and they're almost certain to secure that 10 over bonus point. They only need 50 on the board to secure that, 4 runs away. Reminder, we've got Julia Price in the commentary box, coach for the Warriors.
And coming on to bowl here, we have Henrietta Ishimwe, who took a wicket with her first ever ball in Fairbreak yesterday. The Rwandan player has gone viral, it seems. And it was just such a nice story, wasn't that, Julia? That's kind of what it's about.
Well, I don't think she'll be too happy in the Carey household, but obviously picking her up, they'll be very happy with that. And it was fantastic to see, and just the reaction as well, and the celebration by the team. It's wonderful to see that they're all just getting behind these teams and how they're merging and gelling so much in the competition, despite being from all corners of the globe.
Yeah, and a big name is your first wicket. You take that one. Dine out on that all year round.
It's been phenomenal to see some of the reactions from the players when they've taken wickets, those big moments. Julia, tell me, as a coach, we've spoken a lot about what it's like as a player going out there, but it's a very unique scenario as a coach to be going in there and pulling together a team. You spoke about game plans, and how have you found it?
Yeah, it has been quite challenging, obviously, just even getting to know the skill sets. As soon as I found out who was in my team, I sent out a survey just to find out what their expectations are and what they wanted to do and what their skill sets were.
I love the appeal, pleading. I love it.
I also love her lines as well. We all know that Danny White's so strong over that offside, so the fact that she's really trying to bring it into that leg stump, and the fact that she got that Yorker into Nicola Carey yesterday, she's really bowling some nice areas and probably has done a fair bit of research on some of these players.
They keep telling me about that. You've taken a survey, you've got the players' info, you've had probably 1 training, maybe 2 before your first match. How do you pull it all together?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've got a nice little leadership group. We've obviously got Sindhu Srihasha. I'm the USA coach at the moment, and she's the captain of the USA team, so it's made it quite easy to gel with the captain straight away.
Gives us out room, cracking shot, and that's gone for 4. It's the 50-run partnership, and it takes them over the bonus point. Big moment.
Yeah, ANTI-PIRACY just down on one knee there. She's in such good form. We saw it the other night, and she's just swinging, and she smashed that one. She scored 147 runs so far, unbeaten in this tournament, and she's taken a wicket today.
And a dot ball to finish. Eventful over, 52 without loss after 7.
Oh, and there's that celebration yesterday, that wicket of Carey, and just look at the jubilation as she leaps on Campbell, the wicket-keeper there. And she's back in concentration form today. Just 1 bun on her head today. There were 2 yesterday.
This partnership, 50, motoring along, and here's the skipper. Heather Knight's going to have to find a way of breaking this partnership, and we know it's not an easy wicket to bat on. Break the partnership, try and change that momentum, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Heather Knight probably hasn't bowled a lot in the last sort of year or so, but she's just been starting to bring herself back into the game, and she does bowl really well in T20 cricket particularly, and does seem to pick up that wicket when they need it. So that's what you want from your captain, is to bowl at these tough times and really try and break a partnership like the one that's developed at the moment.
Yeah, we say that about Heather Knight. She does bring herself on when she's playing in England, and she just got that golden arm. There's just that little something when she comes on. It just changes things up a bit. And I think she's invaluable in those middle overs as a bowler.
What's also been great about this is obviously Danny Wyatt is on her team normally, so there's a lot of intel that the Barmy Army have got against someone like Danny Wyatt, and I've also found that really helpful in our team. We've really engaged all of the team and put the accountability and responsibility onto the players to, if there's players from Hong Kong or UAE or ones that we don't know about, our team needs to be able to tell us that. So it's been really good for the learning experience for everyone.
Yeah,
it's up, there's cries of catch. Got the rope at 6th. There's huge applause. The Falcons team full of energy, and I'm sure we'll see the Falcon dance coming out in a moment.
Yeah, I think the only people who had any chance of catching that were in the Falcon dugout. There you can see Heather Knight there. Yeah, that's just a big swing. Danny Wyatt knows that's going long. She could do that all day long.
Definitely bragging rights for Danny Wyatt there when they get back to the England squad.
I'm sure there's going to be some good banter in the hallways as we have another look at it, and it just straight as an arrow and drops over the rope. Down leg, and it's swept and off. To recover that, and strong arm in.
Yeah, so it's interesting as well, because obviously Danny Wyatt come in as captain, so she's having to take on a new role there. So it doesn't seem to have affected her batting at all.
Advances, and just the one off the last ball of the over. And that takes the score 63 without loss after 8. Have a look through the highlights of the power play. Great striking. Danny Wyatt incredibly strong through the offside, and Atu, well, she's just carrying on what she did, but that drop, we've seen some drops in the tournament, and how costly will they be? And this one, this was just enormous. Great power play for the Falcons, and they're ahead of the run rate in a great space as they look to chase down the score. Back, and here we go, we're looking at that scorecard. Well, the Barmy Army. Confusion, throw to the non-strikers.
Yeah, Julia, how have you worked on that sort of communication? Obviously, we've got language barriers going on here as well. Players haven't played together. So what's your kind of strategy there?
Well, initially Google Translate has been getting a workover.
And that's just bisected those two fielders there, and it's run away to the boundary. That's another 4 to the Falcons total. They really are chasing down hard here. So if we just look at this one, it's just knocked down by Danny Wyatt. She's so strong through that onside.
She does have a little tendency though to getting caught at point occasionally. She played a little under that, didn't quite get the bounce and caught that top edge, so maybe got away with a little bit of a lucky break there.
We've seen Danny Wyatt very strong on the offside on the front foot, but there's a little chink there, a little opportunity, and for a moment I held my breath, but fell in the gap. Toss. Oh, is there a finger on that? There's a bigger finger, and the finger's up. Oh, gets the run of play. It's unbelievable. We saw this in the World Cup happen so many times in this run. You can't get her out of the game.
Danny Wyatt cannot believe it. You actually could see her on the screen there. She just said, "You're kidding me." We couldn't have predicted any of that. I mean, we needed something magic to break this partnership, Julia, and well, I think they found it.
Well, it's the only way you seem to be able to get someone like Jamari Adipadu out at the moment is making sure that he hits it straight back, and that's a great effort. Look, I think she'll claim that. She's going to go back home and say she claimed that, intentionally dropped the catch to knock it onto the stumps.
It's Schwab, she's just she's just going to go viral again. All she needs is a bit of internet time again now. Look at that celebration. She is absolutely loving being part of this Fairbreak Invitational. She has well and truly stamped her authority on this tournament. And ANTI-PIRACY has to go Falcons 67 for 1.
Wow, take a breath. That was just an absolute change in fortunes, and hopefully has brought the Barmy Army into play. Look at this. Smashed back into Swami, off the hand. Frozen, hasn't realised it's a wicket. Wait for the reaction. The realisation, oh, brilliant.
And you could just see Heather Knight in the background there. She was like, you know, this could be the game-changing moment. ANTI-PIRACY has finally been dismissed in this tournament, and it took a little bit of magic, but it was great game awareness there from Henrietta Ishwami, wasn't it?
Score 68 for 1 after 9.
And there she is with that celebration, Julia. That's what you want to see, isn't it? But it's all about the competition, but it's about enjoying the competition at the same time.
Well, what I'd like to see as well is she was trying to her slow ball, but it just didn't probably get it down as much as she liked. And it's amazing the fortunes of cricket can. She's already been dropped once today, and now she's managed to drop the catch again, but get the wicket at the same time. So great work from Mishimwe.
Welcome back. We've got Julia Price next to us, coach of the Warriors. As we take a look at that scorecard, and ANTI-PIRACY was absolutely dominating and against the run of play, run out at the non-strikers end. Danny White's still there. She's the only English woman who has scored 2 centuries in T20Is. She's more than capable of taking this game home, but the run rate required right neck and neck. As we see a change in the bowler, Ruchi Venkatesh. She knows Danny White very, very well. Ruchi from Hong Kong. Ball slides down leg. Julia, you've got everywhere there's a new mix of people. You've got Sian Kelly as your assistant coach. From England, played cricket at Oxford University, and spent a lot of time in an associate country in Argentina, working there as a coach and a player, I believe.
Oh, that's a good bit of fielding there by Laura Woolvar. I thought it bisected those two there in the offside, but yeah, she's so quick in the outfield there, so I think a little bit of applause there from her bowler. Just see this one. It looked like it was going. She just came out of nowhere with the dive, and they worked in tandem there. Yeah, a little applause from the bowler.
She's a great athlete, Laura Woolvar. No, it's been fantastic having Sian Kelly. Obviously, I met actually Sian Kelly a few years ago. Went down to Argentina and caught up with the Flamingos and did a session with them. And it's been fun being able to travel the world and help out with the associate member nations.
Oh yes.
And she did a fantastic job as well with the team. They've now elevated into the from the South American Championships into the ICC Americas that we just had in Mexico in September or October last year, and they did very, very well.
It's dragged down and it's a catch. Wow.
And look who's in the game again. Henrietta Ishwami. She's back in the game. She's taken the catch as well. So she's had a run out and a catch. She has been part of both wickets in the Falcons innings. And just look at this one here. She looked like she'd really got a hold of that one, but she got herself in position and straight down her throat. And Heather Knight in the background again there. She just can't believe it. You can't keep this girl out of the game. Falcons are 70 for 2. And Virta Satish goes for none.
Brittany Cooper, the new batter, after Ruchi Venkatesh has struck in her first over. Off breaks, it seems, Pricey, that lack of pace is working here.
It does seem to be that way. You can just see she's bowling that into the wicket for the previous wicket, and Satish hit it straight down Ishwimi's throat.
Hope they didn't bounce twice. The no ball if it bounces twice.
I think she's got away with that one, but Brittany Cooper, she'll be, she's finding that very amusing, and just managed to get a bat on it and get the sweep away. But generally a pretty strong player down the ground. Has been in and out of the West Indian team for the last few years, so she'll be keen to get out there and picking up some runs. Didn't play in the first game. Not often you see a spinner lose their run-up, Jeff.
Now, I saw a more amusing. Simon Torfer loves a dead ball call. Oh, and that, I've got to say, that's a mixed bag of an over. 10 gone, 71 for 2. So a couple of wickets down. This is Virta Satish hammering it, the star of the tournament so far, Henrietta Ishwimi, Rwanda. Got to put that one down as a little bonus, I think, in your off-spinning bag, but that happens occasionally. I mean, it's interesting. Got all the players from all over the world, and some have not been on the big stage. A lot haven't been on the big stage. Cooper just bunts it away from it. So they're obviously a lot of nerves game one. Pricey. We've seen Henriette here. She seems to have got over her nerves. After this ball, so ask about your associate players. Have they just really taken up the feeling, and the nerves are dissipating as the tournament's progressed?
Yeah, they are, and that's what I love about the member nation players in our team. They've made them feel so welcome.
Just the one.
And it's really sort of dissipating those nerves that they've had and any sort of maybe self-doubt that they've got coming into this tournament. So everyone's just thoroughly enjoying themselves there. You know, at trainings, everyone's helping everyone else. A lot of the, as we'd hope, the senior players and the leadership group are really helping out with the associate members in the nets and teaching them a few new tricks and just tweaking a few things here and there.
Oh yes, Harriet! Oh, ball, Henry! Ball, Henry!
Did you find practices? Well, it's not a normal practice, but is it more fun, less fun, the same, more work, less work? Oh, that won't be out, but I'm glad she appealed.
It was more work initially just because I was trying to work out who to put in which nets and who are the matchups, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, we were getting to have a bit of a look at all the associate members, probably against other associate members, and we let our full members bowl against each other and then sort of start blending them and melding them, because that's what they're going to have to face in a game.
Cooper goes straight. That's a good place to go. Henriette's not happy. The smile's gone. That means she's a proper bowler. Doesn't like getting hit.
Yeah, I think Brittany Cooper, she does like to hit straight, as I mentioned before, but just a little slow ball, just tried to take a bit of pace off it, and I think Brittany Cooper's picked that pretty quickly.
Oh, stop it!
The loft cutter to finish. She gets the dots. 3 overs to 17 for Ushimwe. Falcons after 11 are 77 for 2. Welcome back. That's how match 4 stands at the moment. Very much in the balance, particularly after the loss of 2 wickets quickly. Just sure everyone's in the right spot. Yep, yeah, square it, you'll do. All right, down, then back. Chops it, has to hurry. Right, backs up, side ball. There'll be play on at the keeper's end here, but the throw's not good enough. We'll talk about new players and understandings and misunderstandings. We've seen a few run-outs in the comp so far.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, there's a real connection you need to have with your partner and understanding of how they're scoring and which balls they're going to run on. And it's really quite obvious when you've never played with someone before, which really, you know, enforces what you need to do at training.
Is long off in place, just a single.
Just working on those partnerships together. We're pretty lucky. We've got Georgia Redmayne and Hayley Matthews, who played together at the Hobart Hurricanes with me a fair while ago. But so they've had a bit of time to work out what their calls are.
Pippa uses her feet, strikes it well, but just a single. Asians sneaking away from them. Make it 2. Coaches hate that.
They do. But we've really been working on our communication, as we mentioned. We were talking before about, you know, there's so many different languages, but we're just making sure that, you know, there's no assumptions about, you know, people making sure they're backing up or whether they're, you know, whose ball it is when they're fielding.
Cooper improvises. That might have been off the glove. They don't get one.
Yeah, so we've just been working hard on that communication. That's obviously going to help between the wickets as well. But we just want everyone to sort of start learning and understanding. We've been analysing each other and analysing opposition and everyone learning about the game itself.
Tough bounce on the wicket square.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Back up, back up.
Might be being generous, but
I'm not sure. Dotton's pretty good. She's probably one of the best fielders in the world, particularly in that point region. So she won't be overly happy. She's had a little misfield there.
Short, pulled 4. Good finish to the over for the Falcons. Very handy, 87 for 2. do have Mel Farrell with us. Did I mention that?
You didn't, so I didn't want to confuse people by jumping in. That's okay. I'm more excited about Julia being here. Pricey.
Welcome back. Falcons sneaking along. We need a Cooper or White explosion. Heather Knight will be KG. It's a KG full bunger. Now, well, we'll get Mel Farrell with us. And she's been a bit quiet because we know Julia Price back in Australia does lots of commentary. She knows how to talk. It's not one of her shortcomings. So just excuse us, Mel. If you've got some questions for Pricey, go right ahead.
I may just have one or two. Well, we just saw a little misfield there from Deandra Dotton. But one thing I was wondering is there a difference in the standard, a noticeable difference in the standard in the fielding? Because that for me is the skill that has improved the most very quickly.
Safe just on the first bounce because Cooper didn't get enough of it.
Yeah, just that's the skill that seems to have improved most quickly in the WBBL and the 100.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's about the conditions and the places that you're playing in, and the field's actually immaculate here. But yeah, there has been a little bit of an out game. Unfortunately, the other night we dropped 5 catches, and 3 of those were from member nation players, which the associate members picked out pretty quickly in our team. They were finger pointing immediately. But it's just that confidence around, they're not as confident under the ball, the high balls.
In the air, but too far. Good piece from Wyatt. For a moment there, I thought we might have seen it catch.
And also, they probably don't hit the deck as much because, again, of the ground conditions that they're playing in sometimes. So they just haven't had the facilities and the resources to get that confidence to dive in the field. Playing under lights, a lot of them have never played under lights before, but they're picking it up pretty quickly. I mean, they've took some good catches, taken a couple of good catches in our team already, and we've seen some already throughout the tournament as well. So it's getting there slowly.
There's thieved a single there to finish the 13th. Play's not dead yet. Now it is 96 for 2.
Danny White being her captain for another 6. Second time she's done that. See you later, Skip. Here a little bit of punishment, Heather Knight. She's gone for 10 and over. Largely thanks to her England teammate.
.98 for 2. 6 bowlers used so far by Heather Knight, and she's bowled 2 herself, taking a bit of punishment from her erstwhile England teammate Danny White. We've talked about the associate players and their challenges, but what about when players from the same country are playing against each other? That's another level of challenge.
Yeah, it's been quite fun. There's been a lot of banter, I think, around between the teams, and it's actually just such a nice vibe around the hotel. Everyone wandering around, mingling, doing their recoveries in the pool together, and just having nice crossover between players. And there's a little bit of fangirling going on from some of the associate players. They're getting their photos taken with some of the big names, so it's been great for everyone.
Richie Venkatesh back on for her second over. Quite exciting, adventurous and colourful first, but the numbers don't lie. She had 1 for 3, now 1 for 4 of her 7 deliveries. 54 of 41, so the Falcons still needing better than run a ball. They've got a couple of guns out there. All right, just starting to find a form. Might be an O ball for a bit high. A free hit. That will help. Not sure if Danny White's unhappy about the lack of result from that, or the fact that it was so full. She's tried to bowl one front of the hand. I do like it when a bowler stops.
especially on a free hit. Just give Simon another chance to run his finger around there. Yeah, well bowled, but it's going to still be 4. Will it be? Yes, yes, no, no, no. Yes, Woolbart, brilliant. I'll tell you what I've seen so far in every game is the amount of boundaries that have been cut off. There's hardly been a failure. So they're turning 4s into 2s, and this is just another classic example.
What I also like is the fact that, you know, the players are taking this very, very seriously. You know, they're really throwing everything into it, and they're just trying to make sure that they're keeping the scores are. They're all trying to win every single game.
Certainly seen some great work on the boundary. Well, Laura Woolbart is always great on the boundary, but from a number of the players, it's been really impressive.
That one's might be a no ball, but it will be a 6.
Just lost away again a little bit there, Venkatesh, and this time Danny Wyatt made sure of it. The last time she missed out. She wasn't going to miss out a second time.
May have been a little guilty of not having a plan to a full ball. So now, second ball she did have though.
I blame the coaches when they don't plan for that sort of stuff.
She's certainly getting some good airtime, Venkatesh. Getting quite a few balls in that haven't actually been bowled yet.
It's not a long run up to forget, really, is it? Yes, obviously got the yips at the moment.
That was exactly the word. I was just thinking then. She's just really lost away, just lost her confidence a bit. You can see there she looks really nervous at the moment. Just needs to take a couple of deep breaths, I think.
Hoping Heather Knight might come over and just give her a little pat on the back, just get her back on track.
A few words of encouragement from the keeper.
It's time to take a few deep breaths, but you're right. I think the skip could just come over and say, take a couple of deep breaths. Doesn't matter if you get hit for 6. You've got to get it down the other end. About 2, no. That'll be just the single.
Quite often, sometimes off spinners do lose their action coming over the wicket. So maybe it's actually would be smart for her to come around the wicket just to get that sort of slight angle. Gets you up and through. Make sure you're going through to your target. So we'll be over there suggesting that she does that at the moment.
Well, Romana came over just then and did give her a pat on the back just before she ran up that time. So just a bit of concern for Venkatesh at this point.
In the air, and it was nearly a brilliant tactic. Oh, that one, there's nothing wrong with that delivery.
Danny Wyatt just trying to go inside out, but just skewed a little bit, couldn't get it all. She is 51, in to go big.
No sweeper on the offside. The protections on the leg, and I think that was for quite the Herculean effort. $14 gone, 116 for 2.
Good partnership between Cooper and Wyatt. They've got the Falcons back into the game. 46 off 28 for them. They're 20 in front of where the Barmy Army were after 14, but the Army had a good finish. I did see Danny Wyatt this morning wandering over to the shopping centre in the heat. She said, oh, how hot is it? She's finding out right now. I said, I thought it was a nice day. Pricey at Queenslander, it was not too bad. Well, Farrell comes from country New South Wales with us. I thought it was mild.
Well, I'm from Orange. It's not known for its really hot weather, I've got to tell you.
Oh, that's a terrific shot. Timing and placement, nothing more.
Just a bit too much width there for Mashimwe. She's been great. She's probably been one of the most economical bowlers today. Still, again, just trying to take that pace off the ball and make it quite difficult, which she's been doing quite successfully until right now. But Danny Wyatt in a great position there. Hit that nice and late, full face, straight through point.
It's another one. The same spot is put down. Was that a formation player?
It's Heather Knight. Definitely not. I mean, it would have been a specky if she'd taken it.
It was almost a replay of one of the catches she took in the recent 50 over World Cup. And, she'll be kicking herself that she's missed that. She got there and probably went a little too far.
Bowled again. They sneak a single. Tough throw, well picked up. Again, Jermaine Campbell. Just have another little look at that. I know, it looks like a toughie. I mean, if you watch it in slow motion, yeah, well, but he did jump too far. I think he catch 7 out of 10 of those. One's on target. Don't take liberties with Henrietta Shimwe.
She certainly makes things happen, doesn't she? She really changed this innings when she managed to parry the ball onto the stumps to dismiss Chamari Atapatu. She then took a catch. She's one of those excitement players.
This time, White uses the feet, changes the line, the length of the bowler. A movement. So good finish to the over once again for the Falcons. 126 for 2. Thank you, Julia Price. You've been outstanding as ever.
No worries, anytime.
Partnership for 56 from 34, which has opened up the game for the Falcons. Only 153 for victory. They've got that down to 27 from 30. Of course, this is the first of a double header. Second game starting about an hour after this one. Great contact off Norris's first ball. Struck that all the way. Beautiful sound out the middle of the bat. Cooper moves to 25. Making a real statement from the first ball of Norris's new over. Adam Collins with you. Isabel Duncan joining me in commentary.
Yeah, really going for gold here at the moment, these two. What a lovely partnership between them as well. Worth 62, Wyatt and Cooper.
And they can milk it from here. There's no incentive in this competition to win the game in 17 or 18 overs. That if teams are tied going into the finals, it'll be determined by the team that's lost fewer wickets. So winning 2 down in the 20th over is better than winning 4 down in say, the 17th over, which would be the case in many T20 competitions, but in the absence of net run rate, it's all about doing it in style, not losing wickets.
Well, if they can break this partnership, Barmy Army, it'll be game on. We'll be into the associate nations, who are less experienced, of course. This is a chunky partnership between these two.
Back of the hand slower ball, not on target though. Must be so hard bowling to Danny White in a situation like this. Such an accomplished player.
Adapted well, Danny White, having arrived late. This is her first game and having to captain.
Yeah, unwell earlier this week and playing in the heat tonight. Hopeful the sun's gone down by the time they've gone out to bat. That's better from Norris. Out towards deep mid-wicket, albeit on the bounce.
She's a wily bowler, Norris. I'm impressed by her. She's got all the variations, and she's not put off if she's hit for a 6 or a 4. She gathers her thoughts, and the next ball is on the dot.
Yeah, there's a bit about her, isn't there? I've seen her bowl a little bit in domestic cricket as well. Got that extra yard of pace. Can really muscle it through, but good variations. Needs something special from here, though. Needs a wicket urgently. Oh, that might be it. No, miscued. No mid-on inside the circle. Bullets to throw in. They can break a finger. It's the frustration there of not having the mid-on inside the circle. Well back, and yes, backing Norris on the left finger. Again, going the back of the hand option, pace off.
Got the dew out there as well, of course. The ball will be a little bit slippery. They do use a spray on the outground just to try and keep the dew off. It acts as like a Teflon, and the drops just roll off the blades, but it's under the lights with a little bit of dew around. Slower ball out of the back of the hand.
Catchett's the call, maybe an opportunity on the rope, but it clears the fielder at deep backward square. Frustration for Norris. And the Falcons are near enough to that target of 153 now. They need 9 from 24 balls. End of the over, 144 for 2.
Here it is, that big 6. Just rocks back. Sees it into the middle of the bat, just too short, drags it down there, Norris. She's onto it nice and early, Wyatt, and that is launched out into the stands. Entertaining stuff from Wyatt, 67 off 43 deliveries. It's 9 runs required off 24 balls now. Simple equation.
That's exactly where it hit. Pointing out to her teammate. I don't mind this bowling change. We saw Deandra Dotton come on in a World Cup game against New Zealand with, it was 5 runs to defend in the final over and took 2 for 2 to open that tournament. Quite stunning. She wasn't used until the 50th over. So if they need wickets, here's the time. Bowling over 17, her first chance tonight. That was an absurd finish. So they throw the ball to Dotton at the very end of that first World Cup game. As I said, 5 runs in hand. 50th over, chaotic finish. 2 wickets, a run out, and the Windies pinch it. And never so close to making the semis. You can take 2 wickets in this over, it'll open the game up. That's the beauty of this competition.
It's all about breaking this partnership.
Even with it being 8 runs needed from 22 balls, if Wyatt were to fall here, the very nature of this competition being a blend between full member nations and associate nations, it'll change the dynamic immediately. It's not as though they're sending out necessarily a player who will have played in a situation like this on television and all the rest. Right in the block hole.
Yeah, Heather Knight's really got to turn to her most experienced bowlers here. just to try and keep it tighter and to break these two up. Then you're into the more inexperienced players and anything can happen. And the foundations were laid earlier, of course, with the bat by the Falcons, with ANTI-PIRACY's 42 and that first wicket partnership of 67 with Danny Wyatt, and just allowed those who came after just to free up and take risks. 8 wickets in hand here. The Falcons can afford to take risks.
Perfect. Wyatt's class on display, still able to squeeze it out into the gap for a single. Can't ask much more than that from Dotton. At pace as well.
20 balls left as well. Take their time if they want to.
Gosh, that takes some keeping out, doesn't it? Beautiful. Straight seam, straight towards the middle stump. Yeah, clever batting from Cooper with pace off. Saw a single to mid-on.
Well, they don't need to do anything flamboyant, do they, Wyatt or Cooper here? They can just tap it around, rotate it, and knock off those 6 runs.
Said it before, no obligation to seal this with a 6 or anything like that. They can just knock it around. Although, I expected Danny Wyatt wouldn't mind finishing it in style. He has that club in the bag, as we've seen. 4 sixes tonight so far. Oh, inside edge. A lucky inside edge as well, as that was trending towards the leg stump. Just 3 singles from the over, 3 overs to go. 6 runs needed, 147 for 2 the score. Look at that dip on Wyatt. Committed to the heave-ho. The tiniest of inside edges, no more than a few inches away from that leg stump.
Great stop as well by the keeper. Full dive, gets a glove to it. Shemaine Campbell. Very athletic.
Padmasana back into the attack. There's Marizanne Cap. We were told she wasn't at the ground today, unwell, but she's rocked up, watching her team go through their paces. Hopefully she'll get debut for the Falcons in their 3rd game. A couple of days.
Back to a bit of experience here with Padmasana.
Leg by. Signalled out on the field.
Having a look at her figures. 20 off 3.
She's going to be a serious attack leader for Pakistan. That much is clear. We've seen a fair bit from her in the World Cup recently.
Yeah, she picked up 7 wickets, didn't she, in the last World Cup?
And some good wickets too. High quality opponents that she was getting out. So. Wyatt goes straight and gets herself a boundary. The scores are level. Slower ball on target, but Wyatt picked it early, having made room for herself to swing. She's batted beautifully. This partnership now worth 82 from 48. And they're all but at the victory line.
Yeah, she's been very difficult to bowl at, Danny Wyatt. She's been playing all over the ground. They've tried everything, but they can't break this partnership.
And that's the victory. Danny Wyatt does it with a boundary. Back into the team, taking the captain's armband and securing all 4 points for the Falcons. They're 2 from 2. They're top of the table. And Danny Wyatt's outstanding 2022 continues. The partnership of 86 from 49 balls. When they came together, Izzy Duncan, they have plenty of work to do. But Cooper down the other end with 32 of her own, along with the captain Wyatt. Some big overs there just to break the chase open. And really, it was never in doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps, doesn't it? When you have a good power play and you think it was 46 for naught in the power play, that foundation was set by those openers, ANTI-PIRACY and Danny Wyatt. ANTI-PIRACY in form, of course, off the back of that 107 2 days ago. And runs on the board, allowing other batters just to play freely.
There's the winning runs, the half tracker Wyatt goes 4-4 to finish it. Down the ground, then on the back foot, carving away, and a great response from the Falcons dugout. A big chase in the first game, hauling down 178. Well, the target 153 today. Doing that on a pitch that's slowing down as well. Third day they've played on this surface. It's a great sign in terms of setting themselves up for a finals berth late next week. As for the Barmy Army, victorious last night. Losing today, they're 1-1. So the Falcons win by 8 wickets. They're 2 from 2 in this competition so far, taking all the points. Stick with us after this break and we'll return on the field with Mel Farrell and the presentation.
Just a bit of soft. Just yeah.
What a brilliant display of batting from the Falcons. And as what Adam had mentioned, it was the Danny Wyatt show. And so big congratulations to the Falcons for winning another one under their belt. Let's head over to Mel for the post-match presentation.
Hello and welcome to the post-match presentation for match number 4 of the Fairbreak Invitational 2022, live from the lovely city of Dubai. Well, what a match that was. It really was a Danny Wyatt show. There was great target put up there by the Barmy Army, which was characterised by that 80 for 59 balls for Deandra Dottin. It wasn't enough in the end. It looks like the Falcons are a team that really, really like to chase, and they got there. The captain, standing captain, hitting the winning runs. But I'd like to just start with thanking our very gracious sponsors, SDG Impact Fund and GenCore. And we're going to have a word, first of all, with Heather Knight. On the losing side tonight, you came in off a win, Heather. How did you think you'd gone? You had a different approach, it seemed, to the batting tonight in building up. Did you think that was a right approach on this pitch?
Yeah, I think we probably didn't get off to a great start. I think Deandra herself struggled a little bit to get away, and I thought she quite brilliantly. I think at halfway we've got 49, and to get that total was a really good effort. But yeah, we want to maximise that power play a little bit more in the future. I think, particularly when the balls are a little bit softer at the back end, and it can be hard to score boundaries. So yeah, we definitely want to maximise that. And credit to them. I thought they came out really aggressive. Atta and Danny obviously opening up put us under pressure.
Yeah, you sort of sometimes wonder when she's in this form, how do you get Chamari Atapatu out? Well, it was Ashimwe, the magic hands of Henrietta Ashimwe, who again made a big impact, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, and yeah, it's one of the worst ways to get out, I think, very unlucky. But yeah, one of those things, and unfortunately we couldn't maximise, obviously, that opportunity once we got that first wicket.
Well, you've got plenty more chances to go, still one win up on the board. Good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Mel. Cheers.
Okay, well, it's time for the Player of the Match award, and the Player of the Match will receive a smartwatch, and it's presented tonight by Anoop Gidwani, the Director of Cricket Hong Kong. So thanks for joining us for that. And the award goes to the captain, of course, Danny Wyatt, captain of the Falcons, standing captain, 76 off 99 balls, hits the winning runs. Come on in, you've got your watch now. Look, how about you? What's your day been like? Susie Bates feeling a bit crook. You come in, step up to the captaincy, end up blasting it about, hit the winning runs. Cricket's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, it was obviously really hot today, as you can see. But yeah, credit to our bowlers to restrict them to that total, and Atapatu batted really well at the start as well and got our innings off. And yeah, it was just really good to be out there and see us home.
What maybe wasn't so good when you saw her dismissed in that way when you were at the other end?
That shouldn't be allowed out, that dismissal. It needs to be taken out of the rule book. Yeah, it's just not fair, and yeah, I'm sorry, Atta, for that. Yeah, and it was my job to see us home and manage to do that.
Yeah, just coming in like this, how easy is it to come in and then just blast away straight off the bat like that?
Yeah, managed to top edge a few sixes. I thought it was out, and then somehow it just kept going over the boundary, which I was happy about. But yeah, it's T20 cricket. You've got to pick your bowlers. And yeah, just backed myself and did that today.
Well, you certainly did, and you did a terrific job for it. Undefeated so far. Susie Bates might have a bit of a fight on her hands, getting the captaincy back from you.
No, I'm happy to give it back now. That was hard work.
Oh, well done. You've earned a break, so go and have it tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
So there you go, player of the match and winning captain, standing in brilliantly for Susie Bates, Danny Wyatt. That's all from the presentation.
As we head over to the match summary of match number 4, the Barmy Army came through. Deandra Dottin came back strong after the first game, hitting a brilliant 80 from 59 deliveries. She was dangerous, much needed, and moving over to Kavisha, also contributing 24 of 29 deliveries. As far as Falcons bowling performance, Shukla as well as Jahanara getting 1 wicket each. And let me head over to Jeff to be able to take us through the Falcons.
Yeah, look, this game showed like a similar pattern to game 1, didn't it? The first side batted well,
got a score. It was at 177 the first game, so maybe the Army were 20 short of what they needed, just going on the first game. And the Falcons got away to a steady start. Danny White, who didn't play game one, has come in. She's just explained she's been the captain. There's a lot of other pressures on her. She started steadily, and then at the end just absolutely nailed her. And
yeah, let's take a moment to look at the highlights.
It does help when you've got Chamari Adapatu up the top. She's in terrific form in this tournament. Already she's had 2 digs, and already she's in the leading run score. We thought that drop might be expensive, so did Tara Norris. It was a little that they did get her out eventually. Look, I thought once again, the Barmy Army didn't bowl too badly. It was just some terrific batting, led by the Sri Lankan left-hander. And then followed on by the English right-hander. There's some terrific stroke play played. Look, there's been a bit of talk about the pitch slowing down, but I thought the pitch played delightfully again, and there was that very unfortunate dismissal. And Satish Thatir just knocked that one to mid-on. But from then on, Brittany Cooper came in, and between her and Danny White, they just polished it off. Fairly clinical, which you almost expect from 2 top-level international players, I guess. In the end, it's a 15-ball victory, and that's a fair margin given that 150 odd was a fairly good score. And Danny White, I'm just going to say Danny White at the end, at the presentation.
Yeah, and Danny White seems to be very crucial in those partnerships that were built.
Yeah, and you imagine put Susie Bates back in the team, so that'll make them even more powerful. But she felt the heat today, Danny White, but she got the job done. And of course, you celebrate.
And they won by 8 wickets. What a brilliant knock from the top order batters. Let's take a quick moment to look at the league standings. Now that the Falcons have won 2 games, they are leading that standings at number 1. And then right after that, we see the Tornadoes, as well as Barmy Army, the Warriors at number 4, Sapphires at number 5, and Team Spirit at number 6. And now let's take a moment to look at the next couple of games that will be coming after this. But before we do that, let me have a quick chat with you, Jeff, regarding today's game. I want to find out from you, ANTI-PIRACY was dropped at 18. Do you think that impacted the way that Barmy Army played, and maybe they could have won it?
Well, when you drop a player who's in that good form, it nearly always costs you. And I made a little note, 18 asterisk, what will happen after this. So, to get her out there would have been crucial. It's early on. She batted a little bit longer and got going. They got a bit of a partnership going, which is the important thing. So, yeah, she got out, so it's hard to say it was a definitive moment because of the drop, but it was an important moment because she's such a terrific player. So fortunately they had White and Cooper, a couple of other superstars, which is handy. But I think that would have been a fairly useful dismissal had that been taken.
Yeah. And the Falcons, they've got 2 from 2. They seem to be dominating. Are you quite pleased with the way that they've been playing? They seem like a really balanced side.
Yes, well, when you look at the teams, when you start the competition, you say, oh, well, they've got some good batting, the associates have got some good spin bowling, and the Falcons, roughly you thought maybe middle of the table, well, finalist team for sure, but what they've done is they won on the back of their top order batting. Having said that, they chased 177, now that's an outstanding chase, and today they chased 152 with 15 bowls to spare. So their batting is leading the way at the moment. I'm sure their coach will be looking how to improve their bowling. But when you've got that standard, and we just said Susie Bates is to come back in that side, they're 2 from 2. They've got both bonus points as well. You've got to start thinking about, they're going to make the finals, and if they make number 1, they play the number 4. So, yeah, we're only into day 3. It's their second game.
Still early days.
Yeah, but... yeah, you put a little asterisk to say, watch the Falcons.
Okay. We'll definitely be watching out for the Falcons. Let's have a look at the next game that is coming up. We're super excited to go into some more cricket action. Match number 5, that is the Tornadoes versus the Warriors. We look forward to it being a really exciting game. But from us here at the studio and everybody that's been participating and making sure all the games are successful, we'll see you in a bit with more cricket action coming up.